this week. Congratulations to everybody that's been taking action. We're going to go ahead and, oh, one of my team members are calling me real quick. Can you guys just give me 1 second? I want to make sure there's nothing. Usually when the team member is calling me, that means a speaker update. You guys give me permission just to step away for like 30 seconds? 1 second. All right, cool. I see. Give me a thumbs up if you're cool with that. All right, they said the first speaker's delayed just a few minutes, just a few minutes. So this is what I want to do. I'm going to bring a couple people on here who want to share takeaways live. Thank God for this week, opportunity for financial freedom. Love it. So let's bring up two people who want to bring up and share their takeaways. I apologize for the delay, y'all. We're going to get started very soon. The speaker just needed a couple minutes to get in the room, I believe, from what the team said. So go ahead if you want to come up and share your biggest takeaway live with us, or maybe even you want to share something that you taken action on this week. If you've taken action, you said, you know what? I've actually put in the work this week. You raise the hand and share progress reports. You guys got, I'm sure you guys, some of you all have some kind of progress, right? Anybody did their meme post that Neo was talking about? Anybody start creating their ebook or their course? Yo, I started restructuring my course. All right. Adrian, we're going to pull you up, and then our guest speaker just got in the room. So Adrian, what's been your biggest takeaway? What's been your progress report from this week?
The AI detection. So my neighbor next door, his his wife is in the hospital, so I want to get a food card for him. And so I called in and I talked to the secretary. I said, "Oh, I thought you were an AI agent." She goes, "You got it right. I am. It was. They recorded my voice." So that was like a hitter because here we learn about AI, and in businesses they're already using it. So that is potential income if we can get the training.
Love it, love it, love it. Great takeaways, everybody. Thank you so much for coming up here. All right. All right, so our guest speaker just got in the room, so I hope you guys are ready. Get your cameras on, get your pen and papers ready. All right, get your pen and paper. So the first individual I want to bring up is one of the companies we use whenever it comes to LLC creation and taxes. This company, I'm going to be honest, and the individuals attached to this company, we truly love. They make, anybody got their LLC here? Put yes or no in the chat. If you have an LLC, put yes or no. Yes, yes. Okay, I got a lot of yeses. Great. Okay, yes, yes. Okay, a couple no's. That's cool. So today what we wanted to do is make sure that we brought in a professional. Somebody said just filed this week. Awesome. We wanted to bring in a professional to show you all and share how you can do it efficiently and effectively. If you have not, they may give out some tax plays. They're going to probably just show you overall what the best business structure for you is going to be. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited to learn this game. We have so much in store today, but I want to bring up Nick from Prime Corporate Services. We've worked with Prime forever. We love Prime. And Nick, welcome in, man. Happy Saturday. Thank you for sacrificing your Saturday to be here educating us. And I'm going to turn the floor over to you, but let's get started.
Of course, thanks for having me. And man, do you guys know how to get a Saturday morning going, right? So that is beyond cool that you guys can bring the energy first thing. I'm excited to be here as always. Let me get my screen shared here. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why it's.
And Nick, just want to let you know, we also have people watching in YouTube as well. So just
Very
make sure
nice.
that I just want to shout out the YouTube family that's watching as well. So we see you all.
I'm trying to share my screen here and it's giving me some difficulties. 1 second here. Sorry, everybody. And first time doing this from my house. I just got a new house, so I figured I would kick it kick it off here with the inaugural webinar with the Circle of Greatness felt fitting. And now I'm sitting here having a difficult time actually sharing my slides. Let's see if this one does it. Sorry, 1 second. Might kick me off to redo to share the screen. Do you mind if I try this real quick? And if it does, I'll come right back on. I apologize.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
cool.
seen
That's
this.
cool.
Trying to share my screen. I think that's necessary to be able to have some visuals to be able to cover the content that we're going to be covering. So I'm going to try to hit this. It's telling me that in order to do so, it's going to kick me out.
Yeah, you're cool. You can hop out and hop back in, man. You're good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're cool. So we'll get him up here and going. And so I just want to kind of welcome everybody watching. If you're in YouTube, go ahead and let me know in the chat. I see Valerie's over there. Hey, Valerie, good to see you over in YouTube. Who else we got over there in YouTube land? Go ahead and comment and let us know if you can hear us and you can see us. But listen, this is one thing I want to encourage you guys to do. This is the very last day. We're going to be giving you so much information, so much information. I want you all to identify today and this weekend, what is one thing you can take action on next week? We've given you so much and it can kind of be overwhelming. But what I want to encourage you all to do is find out and write down in your book, in your notebook, and write down on a piece of paper, hey, what can I do Monday, Sunday? What can I do next week just to take progress? It doesn't have to be big progress, but just progress, right? So actually, if you know that first step, put that first step in the chat and let us know what is one thing that you want to go ahead and achieve and start working on next week. Like what's one thing you can start implementing right away? So put that in the chat. I want to be reading those. Nick's going to come up and he's going to take this away, but I would love to know in the chat what you're going to implement right away from this event. Nick, the floor.
Awesome. Okay. And is the screen sharing, everybody?
Yep.
It is. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. I apologize that this was the first one that had a little bit of a hiccup. I've never seen that. But guys, I appreciate you being here. Nick Bulis, Prime Corporate Services. As I mentioned, you guys have an awesome way of cultivating a community that's super, super eager to learn how to make money with your businesses. I would like to think that we're the best at teaching you guys how to keep that money it is that you make, right? So the topics that we're going to be discussing today are going to be on the legal, financial, and tax end. Right now, I know I say legal, financial, tax, and a lot of times I think that those topics can inherently come off as somewhat dense. So what my goal today is to take what are oftentimes considered complex topics and make them very, very simple. Right now, starting on the legal side of things, I'm going to make sure that you all have a complete understanding how to make money with your businesses just by simply saving money on your personal taxes, right? With your entity creation, right? We're going to make sure that you understand how you can accomplish the max asset protection, the max tax advantages, and the max privatization with your corporate structures. Okay, on the financial side of the spectrum, we're going to make sure that you have an understanding how to get away from being the personal bank to your business. Most individuals aren't aware of this, but we actually have 2 federally sanctioned credit profiles. Okay, and then in honor of tax season already being here, as crazy as that feels, in my world, it always feels like it's tax season, but we're about a month away from tax season. I want you guys to have some fundamental understanding about how to go about either repurposing or reallocating certain aspects of everyday life to be incorporated into your business that could be the difference between saving 5, 10, 15, 20 plus $1,000 on your taxes, right? So legal, financial, and tax. And of course, I know we're on in a loaded amount of time. If you leave me up here all day, I'll talk probably for the 2.5 hours. So of course, Circle of Greatness team, start playing that Grammy music if I start going a little bit long. Right now, let's dive right into it. The first thing that I want to make sure that you're all up to speed with is the tax reform. Okay, so for the most part, everything that we're going to be discussing today is predicated off the tax reform. So as of January 1, 2018, Tax Cuts and Job Act was implemented. It's the most recent tax reform. Now, the biggest change with the tax code, we no longer have the ability to offset our tax liability with tax deductible expenses operating in self-employment sectors as an individual. Okay, if that makes sense, great. You know, it's a huge change. If it doesn't at the moment, it will by the end of the webinar. Now, as I mentioned, legal and financial is what we're going to be discussing. We're going to start on the legal side of things. And what it is that we're going to be going over is a specific type of business entity. More particular than that is a specific type of LLC. Okay, now I have a quick question for everybody, and if I can just get a response in the chat. Okay, now I know the vast majority of you, based off of your correspondence that I saw in the chat, have a pre-existing corporate structure. But to take it one step further here, if you currently have a holding company, put a 1 in the chat if you have a holding company. Put a 1 in the chat if you do. And then if you do not have a holding company, put a 2. Maybe you don't know what it is, and that means you're a 2. And we're going to make sure that you do understand what a holding company is and the benefits of such. Ryan, thank you for some of those quick correspondences. So if you currently have a holding company, put a 1. If you do not, put a 2. Very nice. Okay, so it looks like the vast majority of you do not. So let's dive right into it. So this is at the very, very top of your corporate hierarchy. Okay, now what a holding company is an LLC that is structured out of one of our 4 haven states. Okay, now what the 4 haven states are: Alaska, Nevada, Wyoming, and Delaware. Alaska, Nevada, Wyoming, Delaware. Now, the reason why they're referred to as haven states, they're the most corporate-friendly states in the country and the most corporate-friendly bylaws. Now, there's 3 advantages of these corporate bylaws. If you just want to jot down numbers 1, 2, and 3. So number 1, write down max asset protection. And max asset protection. So because of these corporate bylaws, you literally cannot have any better asset protection than you do out of a haven state. Number 2, write down max tax advantages. So these are all 0 income tax states. And we're also going to elaborate in great depths in regards to the holding company's operating agreement and the different tax functionalities that consists of. So number 2 is max tax advantages. And then number 3, max privatization. So the haven states are referred to as privatization states. Now, what that means is it's not public record who the members of the entity are. So it gives you the maximum anonymity. So at the very, very top of your corporate hierarchy, you have your operational holding company that gives you the max asset protection, the max tax advantages, and the max privatization. And then from that point, as you progress with your business endeavor, you diversify, you acquire assets. Eventually, you're going to have other LLCs in place that are owned by the holding company. Okay, the LLCs that are owned by the holding company are referred to as subsidiary LLCs. And all subsidiary means is plain and simple. It's a corporate structure that's owned by your holding company. Now, the reason why you do your corporate hierarchy in this capacity is it kills as many birds with 1 stone as necessary. Just for the very simple fact, every LLC that is now owned by the holding company now inherently has the max asset protection, the max tax advantages, and the max privatization. And once again, it kills as many birds with 1 stone as necessary. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing today is your operational holding company. Okay, now, for those of you that already have a pre-existing corporate structure, it just falls underneath the new holding company and poof, it now has those advantages, right? And then those of you that don't have any type of pre-existing corporate structure, you're going to be starting off with utilizing your holding company for operational purposes. And then as you progress, diversify, you'll then get your other subsidiary operational LLCs. All right. Now, once again, I know a good portion of you have pre-existing corporate structures, so I don't want to be too redundant on certain things when it comes to the functionalities of the LLC. So we will skip around briefly just to make sure we make this as effective as possible, as well as hopefully bring a lot of new information to the table for all of you. Right now, we will still touch base on ground level just to make sure that everybody from A to Z is on the same page here. All right, so bear with me in the beginning. It might be a little bit redundant for a few of you. But first and foremost, the acronym LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Okay, now, the very first element in which the LLC does is it legitimizes, right? It's the legalization that you started a business. Very simple concept. I would also like to think that probably all of you assume that's what it would do right out of the gate is legalize. Okay, the reason I bring this up and I emphasize it is, well, once again, the tax reform. Okay, the state and federal government bodies require that you show a legal intent with your business now, right? So right out of the gate, legalization, the fundamental function of the LLC. If anything, this is probably what you're all familiar with. If you want to write down separation and protection, right? So the LLC separates, protects you and all your personal assets from any type of liability associated from the business. In simplest terms, you can't be sued or liquidated personally for something that transpires from the business. That's the fundamentals of every LLC right there. Okay, very first element, legalization, fundamental function, separation and protection. Now, the reason why Neo has us do these live webinars, as well as where LLCs differentiate from one another, is the operating agreement. Okay, the operating agreement is the structure of the LLC. That's how you reap specific benefits and recognition. Okay, that's really what's of importance. And that's what we're going to be diving into now are the functions of the holding company's operating agreement. All right, all on the same page so far, so good. Utilize your chat, utilize your audio. Okay, now, the reason why the tax status is so critical is that's what gets you the legal credit of the endeavor as well as the arena of business in which you're a part. And if you want to jot this down as well, for those of you that are taking notes, so you have up to 250 different tax deductible business expenses, up to 250 different. And we will send everybody out the complete list of the different sanctioned expenses. But just to give you an example of a few, all of your home-based expenses, internet bills, phone bills, power bills, as long as you have internet connection, you're in a viable position to be operating the business. So gas, mileage, all tax deductible. And we will send everybody out the complete list of all the different sanctioned expenses. Hey, now, I do want to put a little bit of context behind the itemized deductions. Oftentimes when I'm doing webinars, if I'm speaking to a group that has some new business owners or entrepreneurs or investors, the first thing that's coming to their mind is, well, Nick, I'm brand new. I haven't even gone operational with my business, or maybe I haven't monetized my business yet. Therefore, I'm not 100% aware of any type of business expenses that I have. Right. So what I like to bring to everybody's attention are what I refer to as anyway expenses. Remember, one of the phrases that I first referenced is, let's make sure that you understand how to either reallocate or repurpose certain aspects of everyday life to be incorporated into your business. That could be the difference between $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 worth of type of tax savings, right? So let's put some context behind that. So let's take some expenses that we all have at this point on a monthly type basis, right? I know we're all here via Zoom, so I like to think we all have an internet bill at this point, right? So let's take an internet bill. I know mine, it's about, roughly speaking, $100, right? Give or take $100. Let's call it $100 for sake of conversation and math. So we're going to take a $100 internet bill, and then let's take 10 other relative bills like internet, phone bills, power bills, utility bills, travel, food, gas, mileage, etc. Right? 10 relative bills of $100. So 10 bills of 100, 10 times 100 is 1,000. Times that by 12 months in a year. That's $12,000 worth of additional tax deductible expenses based off of anyway expenses, right? Adds up very, very quick. Okay, now what I want to do next is actually show the utilization behind that of how it actually affects your taxes. Okay, now I have another quick question for everybody. And if I can just get a response in the chat, please. If you are currently generating income outside of a business endeavor. So that means if you have conventional W-2, 1099, retirement, if you are generating income outside of a business endeavor, put a 1 in the chat if you are. And then if you are not generating income outside of a business endeavor, put a 2 in the chat. So 1 if you are, 2 if you are not. Thank you for some of those quick correspondences. And very, very much so want to still preface how we want to go about communicating on today's platform. Very, very much so encourage interactiveness, open dialogue. Generally speaking, if one of you has a question, it's the exact same one that the others have as well. So it just tends to be the most effective way to go about handling this type of platform. So utilize your chat, utilize your audio, whatever you feel more comfortable with. All right, and then thank you for some of those quick correspondences. And then based off these responses, 10 times more important is the holding company's tax function. So I'm going to give you the by the book definition first, then I'll come back, break it down in a way that I find to be a little bit easier to conceptualize. But by the book first. So The pass-through function allows you to legally offset your gross taxable income with all of your business's tax-deductible expenses. Let's simplify. Let's cut out the verbiage. If everybody just wants to write down, apply all deductions against all income. Okay, apply all deductions against all income. So that is exactly what this function allows you to do. Okay, so you're now able to apply all of your new business deductions. Once again, those 250 different max portion deductions that you have with your holding LLC, not just against the income that you're generating from your business endeavor, but against your overall gross taxable income across the board, including against the income that you're all respectively generating with whichever reason it is that you referenced a 1 in the chat, against your W-2s, 1099s, retirements. If you're married, filing jointly against your spouse's income, against all income, right? So huge, 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 huge benefit on a personal level. Right? If you were to really think about the pass-through function, just analytically, it could be nothing more than a tax shelter for all of your personal sources of income. Right? It just plain and simply gives you additional tax-deductible expenses to apply against your personal sources of income that you wouldn't have the ability of taking without. Right? Also, to reference the initial phrase that I made around the entity creation side of things, let's make sure that you all understand how you can make money with your business right out of the gate and regardless, just by the amount of money that you're saving on your personal taxes. Okay, so let me put some context behind that statement as well as the slide that you're all looking at. So this is an example of an individual who grosses $65,000 a year of personal income. Okay, personal income, whether that's W-2, 1099, retirement, your spouse's income, it makes absolutely zero difference. But $65,000 a year of personal income, and the individual on top does not have an LLC that consists of these functions. Okay, does not. So with that being said, Uncle Sam comes in, takes at minimum 26%. In other words, the IRS comes in and takes a little over $13,000 away from this individual every year in the form of taxes. Okay, the example on the bottom, it's the exact same individual, $65,000 a year of personal income. However, individual on the bottom does have an LLC that consists of these functionalities, which opens up the gates to the different tax advantages that we're discussing. And they're able to get their tax liability down to a little bit under $8,000. It saves this individual, roughly speaking, $5,500 a year on their personal taxes. Right, adds up quick. That's 1 year. Right, compound that over the next 5 years. I take it one step further here. As I mentioned, you're all essentially making money with the business endeavor right out of the gate, and regardless, just by the amount of money that you're saving on your personal taxes. Right? Pass-through function, all deductions against all income. Very, very critical. Make sure that one makes sense. Can a trust be a holding company? No, right? So a trust is not a tax vehicle. It's not an asset protection vehicle. It's not a corporate vehicle in any way, shape, or form. It's a probate vehicle, right? Now, Barbara, to your point, though, eventually everybody should have some type of trust at the very, very top of your corporate hierarchy that actually is the beneficial owner of all assets, entities, and essentially everything that you have in life. Just because, for those of you that are familiar with what probate is, it's the only way to avoid probate, right? We will briefly touch base on estate planning, right? We have estate planning attorneys that do over 10,000 estate plans a year. So we will briefly touch base on that if we have time today. Another great question is, Nick, do I have to make money with my business in order to qualify for these advantages? No, right? This is not a performance-based concept. This is not a performance-based concept. This is not contingent on the success of your business in any capacity. Right? Matter of fact, I actually think that at times it's easier to make the case that the holding company's tax functions are equal, or if not of more value, if you look at it with the glass half empty. So let's do that briefly. So let's say worst case scenarios happen and you're not able to monetize your business. Or better yet, let's say some of you got involved in self-employment in 2024 and you weren't able to monetize in 2024, right? Worst case scenarios. If that were to be the case, 10 times more important is the LLC at this point that we're discussing, just for the very simple fact, that's really when you want to be recouping your investments come tax season. Right? That's really when you'd want to be applying your new 250 different tax deductible expenses against your personal sources of income, right? Your W-2, your 1099, your retirement, your personal sources of income to create that legal tax shelter, right? I can't stress that point enough. Make sure you make money with your business by saving money on your personal taxes, right? I'm a huge fan of making sure that at the very least, we take advantage of what I refer to as the lowest hanging fruit wins. And I personally think that this is probably it. By making sure that you have the proper legal structure, you're all at the point that you're monetizing your business, right? So make sure that one clicks. Okay, now, the pass-through function works in two capacities. So we understand how it benefits you on a personal level with all of your other sources of income. It also works vice versa. By having other sources of income, it also protects your business investments. Okay, and let's dive into that, starting with the initial investments that you've outlaid for your training courses, software, subscriptions, newsletters, right? Anything in that realm on average, about $1,000 to $10,000+ that you've outlaid for training courses, software, subscriptions. So these investments are by default categorized by the IRS as educational expenses. Okay, by default categorized by IRS as education. So IRS thinks one of two things have transpired. So they think that the individuals, Darla, Courtney, Barbara, everybody here, either decided to go back to school and you're not going through an accredited university, or you have upwards of a $1,000 to $10,000+ hobby on your hands, indifferent to them, personal expenditure. Let's bring the tax code full circle one last time. No longer do we have the ability to itemize as an individual. So I do emphasize this just because personally find it to be of the more critical on the tax side of things. But with the holding company, these investments are all now 100% tax deductible as a legal business startup expense. 100% tax deductible as a legal business startup expense. That's the reason why Neo has us do these live webinars with this community when we do. So investments that you've outlaid with him are protected, right? You've got the proper recognition for what they are. And also keep in mind, that's not just a tax deductible expense you're itemizing. It's a 100% provision, right? You want these investments coming back to you come tax season. All right, and the last function that we'll touch base on, then we'll open it up for a quick Q&A, is compliance. So earning your business compliance. So you need to make sure that you have the proper NAICS code with your EIN number. Okay, that's what gets you the legal credit of the sector. Okay, all of your banks, lenders require that you've obtained that. So that's something that we get for you as part of your LLCs is your NAICS code and your EIN number. And that is the fundamental functions of the holding company right there. Sound like it resonated with you all well. I got a couple good questions that I'm going to elaborate with you on here in a moment before I get wrapped up and explain to you what Neo has put in place for you, as well as before we transition to the financial side of things. So great question. Nick, is there any way that I can still get credit for the different investments and expenses that I've made in 2024 and prior to having the LLC in place, right? Prior. So yes, absolutely. So we do a retroactive intent date on your LLC that by default allows you to capture all investments and expenses for the complete calendar year of 2024 from a tax deductibility standpoint. So yes, everything by default is in play for the complete calendar year of 2024 from a tax deductibility standpoint. Okay, the caveat to that, Well, Nick, with that being said, is there assistance that you can then give me for different investments and expenses that I made in prior years, right? 2023 and so forth. So yes, absolutely. So there is light at the end of the tunnel for all of you as well. Okay. So just to fill everybody in a little bit on this front. So we do, roughly speaking, about 20,000 tax returns on an annual basis, right? We have in-house CPAs. I personally think that it's a very, very good idea to get an understanding how we recommend you start keeping records, itemizing, above all, what to be expecting as far as returns go. Okay, it's a critical year for all of you from a taxation standpoint. You have all of these new deductions, you have big startup provisions, you have other sources of income. Bottom line is you have a ton to gain, and we want you to know what to expect. So we will set you up with a consultation to speak to a tax advisor at some point. Does your business have startup expense limitations like first 3 years with no profit? So what Barbara is inquiring about is what's referred to as net operating loss, right? Essentially, she's asking, is there limitations around taking the tax advantages without showing a profit with your business? So a pretty common misconception around this actually, Barbara, where there's individuals that think that there's like this black and white benchmark of how many years it is that you can show a loss before the IRS won't allow it. Not the case, right? So what it is that you have to be showing is a reasonable intent, right? You have to be showing that you're actually pursuing the business endeavor, right? If not, the IRS will just look at it and say, well, Barbara, you're saving $5, $10, $15,000 a year on your personal taxes. So you're taking the tax advantages, but you're actually not even pursuing the business endeavor, right? So that doesn't work. However, showing a reasonable intent is very, very simple. It can be as simple as just continuing to educate yourself on an annual basis. So there isn't that like set time frame, but you do want to make sure that you're speaking with a tax advisor on an annual basis to make sure that you are in good standing when it comes to the net operating loss and making sure that you can take all the tax advantages and apply them against your personal income without any type of hiccup. But very, very simple to stay in good standing, right? So not the set benchmark limit that a lot of individuals think. All right, now I am going to share this link real quick before we transition to the financial side, and then I will be quick because I know we are coming up on the time frame. So what Neo has worked out with us is he has covered a consultation for all of you to speak to one of my corporate advisors. Okay, they're going to make sure that they touch base on the legal, financial, and tax ends of your business. A lot of what we're going to be discussing today in a little bit more circumstantial type of depth, right? So for those of you that do not have any type of corporate structure, make sure you click that link and schedule your appointment to speak to a tax advisor. Okay, for those of you that maybe have an LLC, but you don't have a holding company yet, make sure you book an appointment to speak to one of my corporate advisors, right? Not only is it an hour-long covered consultation, but Neo is taking it one step further, in particular for this webinar based off where we are in the year with upcoming tax season here. And what he's done is he sets you all up with what we refer to as a complementary LLC. Okay, and once again, all of you have the opportunity to take advantage of what we refer to as a complementary LLC. Now, what that means is rather than paying the retail $1,660 for the LLC, all it is that you have to cover is the hard cost based off the filing fees in the state in which we structure the LLC out of. Okay, one more time. The only thing that you have to cover is the hard cost based off the filing fees in the state in which we structure your LLC out of, right? So a couple $100 at most, right? Just depending on what state that you structure your LLC out of. Right. And also to Courtney's point, make sure you guys give Neo a massive shout out, right? We do over 65,000 corporate structures a year at a retail level. So beyond cool what he has worked out with us for this webinar to make sure that everybody that's in his community has the opportunity to get the proper corporate structure in place and to make money with your business by saving money on your personal taxes, right? So book your appointment if you do not have your corporate hierarchy how it should be, right? For those of you that have a pre-existing LLC, but you don't have a holding company, now is the time to do it, right? You can't get it done for any cheaper. Make sure that you have the max asset protection, the max tax advantages, and the max privatization. Okay, now I'm going to briefly touch base on the financial side of the spectrum. Like I said, I know the time's coming up, so Circle of Greatness team, play that Grammy music if I'm going too long here, but I do want to just hurry and shed some light here. One more quick question that I have for everybody. If you currently have a corporate credit profile, put a 1 in the chat if you have a corporate credit profile. It's referred to as a PAYDEX. So if you have a PAYDEX credit profile, put a 1 in the chat if you do. And then if you do not, put a 2 in the chat. So 1 if you do, 2 if you do not. All right, so if you currently have a PAYDEX, put a 1, and then if you do not, put a 2. Okay, very good. So as I mentioned at the very, very beginning, most individuals are not aware of this, but we actually have 2 federally sanctioned credit profiles. We have our personal FICO credit profile, and we also can establish a corporate credit profile off of our LLCs. It's referred to as a PAYDEX. That's P as in Paul, AY, D as in David, EX, PAYDEX. So what the personal FICO is to you as an individual is what the PAYDEX is to the LLC. Now, a little bit different in nature of the two, the FICO and PAYDEX, that is. Just for the simple fact, you're not just inherently given the PAYDEX credit profile with the business. Yeah, you have to go through certain steps and parameters to establish it. It's not rocket science, but it's a process. Okay, now, a little bit different score ranges. Your PAYDEX ranges from a 1 to 100 rating. Okay, an excellent rating on your PAYDEX score is a 75 or higher. Having a 75 on your PAYDEX is the equivalent of having a 780 on your FICO. An excellent rating. So the reason I say that 75 at minimum is the goal for any business owner. Once accomplished, you're now what we refer to as is a self-sufficient business. A business is now walking and funding on its own 2 feet, utilizing corporate funds, business lines of credit, capital unassociated with you just personally. You want to get away from being the personal bank to your business. Even more than just getting away from the personal bank to your business, need to get away from being solely personally financially liable for your business. All right? Think about it in a binary. Right? On one side, you have personal, that's us, they have social security numbers, they have FICO credit profiles. Also, hence why everything that's tied to your FICO is tied to you and why you're personally financially liable. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the business, that's our LLCs, that have EIN numbers that you can establish a PAYDEX credit profile off of. You want everything that you're doing in regards to the business from a legal as well as from a financial standpoint to be on the LLC, linked to the EIN that you're developing the PAYDEX credit profile off of. So regardless of what happens with the business, it doesn't come back and affect you personally. All right, there's no limit to how many businesses we can start and PAYDEX credit profiles we can establish and build. We have 1 FICO, we have 1 social. And we don't jeopardize that for something potentially out of the business's hands. Right? They gave us 2 federally sanctioned credit profiles for a reason. Personal, business. Separate the 2. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to end with is also, once again, I said that overarching theme of making complex topics as simple as I possibly can. Double your financial resources, right? In the history of me doing this, I'm one of 3 individuals that started this company. We're at over 220 employees now. I've never had anybody ever call me back and say, Nick, I wish I had less money, right? Double your financial resources. It's as simple as that. Right, we can get you to an excellent rating on your PAYDEX within about 3 to 4 months. Right, that'd be the equivalent of somebody coming to you when you were 18 years old with a very low FICO credit score and saying, "Hey, Tanya, I can get you to a 780 score in 3 to 4 months." Right, how valuable would that have been to all of us at that time? Right, pretty imperative. That's what we can do for you on your PAYDEX. Right, so if you do not have a corporate credit profile, book your appointment to speak to one of my corporate advisors. They'll make sure that you have a fundamental understanding how to go about establishing it, right? You have to go through an institution to establish it, but there's no reason why every entrepreneur shouldn't have an LLC and every LLC should have a PAYDEX credit profile. So at the very least, get a fundamental understanding how to go about establishing your corporate credit profile. And then as well as on the tax side of things, if you don't have a fundamental tax strategy in place, make sure you book an appointment to speak to a tax advisor, and they'll make sure you understand record keeping, itemizing, as well as what to expect as far as returns go. Right? I did one little math example that was the difference of saving $5, $10, potentially $15,000 on your personal taxes by deploying certain tax functionalities that you all have access to with your corporate structures. Right? So book your appointments. Right? Neil has been gracious enough to not only cover the hour-long consultation for all of you, but he even took it one step further, right? For those of you that don't have your corporate structures where they need to be, you get a complimentary LLC where all it is that you are covering is the 2 fees, the state filing fee and the operating agreement fee. So book your appointments. But other than that, it was an absolute pleasure. As always, you guys have an awesome community. You cultivate the best energy, right? It's about one of the few webinars that I think that I'm more than happy to hop on a Saturday morning just because of the energy that you guys bring, right? So it's always a pleasure to come here and shed some light on some of these topics. We look forward to working with all of you. The only thing that I ask for those consultations, as we're crazy, crazy busy right now. We're booked up over 2 weeks in advance, as you would imagine, just because it's tax season. So just come prepared as much as you possibly can, undivided attention, pen, paper, something that you'll be able to take some notes on. So that way you have a resource at very minimum to leave with, right? But come prepared. My corporate advisors look forward to working with all of you. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to hand it back to the circle of greatness. You guys were awesome. If there's anything that I can assist with, I'm here for it.
Thank you, Nick. All right, awesome. Everybody put thank you in the chat. Put thank you in the chat. Let him know we're grateful for him spending his Saturday morning with us. We do appreciate you, Nick, for being here. So happy Saturday and enjoy your weekend. But listen, if you booked your consultation, just put yes in the chat so I can go and let Neo know that you went ahead and did that. I want to go ahead and give Neo a quick report of how many people actually went and actually booked their free consultation that he put on the house for you guys. So I see Lakeisha did, Danita, Toya booked, Precious did. Awesome, awesome. So that link is in the chat. Somebody says they're booking now. Awesome. Well, with that being said, you all, we're going to keep rolling. Are you guys cool if we just keep rolling right into this thing? Just give me a thumbs up. You guys are cool if we just keep rocking. Tanya, you good? Danita, we good if we just keep rolling through this? So listen, so the next speaker we have today, I'm so pumped and excited about because he's truly built and his team has truly built a tool that I feel like you guys are going to love. And it's not necessarily even just a tool, but it's a whole system that you can use to accept payments better. I'm going to just give you a quick background to myself and a lot of our clients in our agency. There's some companies out there that are very, very, very strict whenever it comes to payment processing and actually have done some of our clients dirty. I'm not going to go into too much details, but payment processing can get messy. And so we said, you know what, everybody, if you're here, everybody write this down on your piece of paper. I need multiple payment processors. You need multiple. What happens if you're in the middle of a launch, Danita? What happens if you're in the middle of Ashina, you're in the middle of an ebook launch and one of your payment processors go down? We've had that happen literally time and time again. And what we've done and what has saved our butt is having multiple backup options to accept payments. So who we're about to bring to the stage is going to show you a platform that you all can use. And actually, you guys are actually going to go. Yeah, somebody says, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm legit. There's been times where we were in the middle of $1 million launch and our processors just say, you can't accept money anymore. What do you do in those scenarios? Like, you just panic? No, you got to have a backup plan. So I'm going to bring up Yash from Fan Basis. Fan Basis is a processor that we use. And I'm going to be honest, they've been a game changer. Man, you talking about a fast team, a team that is like all about success, love, speed. It is Yash and their team with Fan Basis. So Yash, I'm going to give you the co-host, brother. You can go ahead and take the floor for the next 30 minutes and lead us however you want.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Michael. Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you. Excited to see the energy here and see everyone crushing it. I know you guys have been learning a lot about, how to build a online business over the last few days. So kind of wanted to give you my 2 cents here and tell you a little bit more about how we help at Fan Basis. To give you a little background on myself, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I actually started my first business when I was 16 years old. Ended up having my first exit when I was around 18. And basically have a lot of experience in the startup space, venture capital space, have built and scaled multiple info products and digital agencies as well, which kind of led me to start Fan Basis in the first place. So basically when I, started in this space in general, went ahead and utilized platforms like Stripe, like PayPal, things of that nature. And I've had numerous encounters where we've had hundreds of thousands of dollars held up, in those platforms. Some of those funds still to this day have never been released. So kind of led me to, build Fan Basis in the first place and kind of create the best solution for payment processing and financing for the digital product and service space. And just to kick it off, kind of, I know you guys have learned a lot about these digital businesses, but With our platform, we process over a couple $1 billion a year at this point. And it's all in the info product space, digital product and service space. So it also gives us a lot of unique insights of how people are making, tens of thousands of dollars a month, anywhere to tens of millions of dollars a month, with these businesses. And with that, I kind of wanted to share what the formula is and what the blueprint looks like for crafting a seven-figure offer. So everyone in this room, for the most part, wants a seven-figure a month offer, but few really understand kind of what it takes to create one that scales predictably without roadblocks, without cash flow nightmares, or payment processing issues. As someone that's run multiple eight-figure offers, built fan basis into a nine-figure company, I can tell you firsthand, building a seven-figure business isn't about luck. It's not about getting a viral ad. And it's not about grinding 24/7. Putting in the work is definitely necessary, but it's really about having the right offer, the right acquisition strategy, and the right financial infrastructure. Kind of what I want to go over is breaking down exactly what you need to make your offer irresistible, scalable, and bulletproof so you can stop stressing about revenue dips and start closing bigger deals faster. And when we get to payment processing, I'll show you why Fanbasis is built differently because even after you've closed a deal, your infrastructure shouldn't be working against you. Um, so the five core elements of a seven-figure offer to start and how to create a machine that consistently brings in sales is the number one most important thing is you need to solve a problem that feels like an emergency. And you have to craft your business, your hook, your ad creatives, whatever your acquisition channel is, to really target that pain point and go after the people where this offer that you have makes the most sense. And it really depends, on Fanbasis, for example. Some of the offers and verticals that crush it are, a crypto trading group, trading group, Amazon FBA, real estate courses, how to start your own business, how to start your own agency. A lot of how to make money online businesses, but also a lot of ones that, are more service based. For example, there's an offer on our platform that makes $2 million a month selling hypnosis services, where they charge $15,000 to hypnotize business owners into helping you, achieve your goals for the next year. And it's crazy when I first saw a business like that, I was like, there's no way that exists and is making money, but they really do. And it's really about their framing and positioning because they make it, they go to these business owners and create that emergency saying, hey, like, unless you do this, you're not going to be able to achieve the goals that you have. And I'm sure a lot of these guys pay 15 grand and they're, get hit with the placebo effect and they're like, okay, great. Now I feel like, I have everything I need to achieve what I want. But at the end of the day, the most important piece of this is you have to solve a problem that feels like an emergency. People don't buy nice to haves, or even if they do, they don't spend much on it. The way to get them to actually be real, have that high purchase intent is to buy a solution to an urgent problem. The bigger the pain, the higher the price you can charge. So if your offer doesn't make someone say, I need this now, it's not strong enough. And it really applies to every single vertical that you can think of, whether it be a marketing agency, for example, you're positioning your offer to say, hey, you might be running ads right now, or you might not be running ads, and you're either not, your team is not optimizing it, you're losing money, leaving money on the table. And by joining us, you'll be able to add an additional seven figures or eight figures to your bottom line. Kind of creates that problem, hits that pain point that everyone has. When it comes to the more like direct to consumer models, of like, for example, someone selling that real estate course or a course on how to start your own e-commerce business, they position it as something that's life changing, right? They're typically marketing to individuals that have normal jobs or college students or whoever it might be and saying, look, you can either continue with what you're doing right now, or you can take the next step here to potentially changing your life with this offer. So positioning the offer is probably the most important part because if you can't have someone say, I need this right now, it's just not going to be strong enough to get them and compel them to spend money with you, spend, potentially thousands of dollars. So with that, it's also great if you can have have your position be something that's solving a problem that feels like an emergency, but also craft an offer that feels stupid to say no to because you're making it a no-brainer for them, where you just put in their head, hey, you have this big problem that you already know about. It's something that you need to change. whether it be, being stuck in a 9 to 5 work life, or whether it be, having a failing real estate business, or having marketing strategy that's not working as well as you wanted to. And then positioning an offer right after that that says, you know, this is a no-brainer. The best offers don't convince you to buy something, they make the decision a no-brainer. And there's a few key components of that, right? The first is having massive perceived value. Your, $2,000 offer should feel like it's worth $20,000 to $30,000. That's where, it really does make someone feel like a no-brainer. And there's a lot of different ways that you can position that, whether it be giving someone a money back guarantee, whether it, be a free trial, giving them a tremendous amount of value up front. A lot of people run webinars, for example, where they give a lot of value up front and they say, hey, you can have all this for free, or you can work with me and we can teach you how to do XYZ and actually scale your business, build a business, grow it, or whatever it might be. The second is, doing a price anchor, making premium pricing feel like a steal. For example, having uh say for everyone that's looking at this right now, instead of charging $5,000, we're going to be charging $2,000 to $3,000 for the next 24 hours. Same thing, same concept goes into like doing a risk reversal, like I said, like a money back guarantee, adding in limited spots, adding in exclusivity. A feature that I'm actually building out for fan bases right now is the ability to host a webinar where you can customize the pricing based off of seats. So for the first 10 people that buy, your price can be $1,000, and then it automatically increases to 1,250, then to 1,500, then to 2,000 plus. And it works. We see people do that manually right now. We're just creating more tools for people to automate that process. The third key component here is having scalable customer acquisition. No offer scales without a predictable way to get new customers consistently. There's multiple different ways to go at this, and there's no right or wrong answer. We have hundreds of multiple $1 million a month offers on our platform. Some of these guys are able to generate $2 to $3 million a month right now, completely organically. They might have these large social channels. They might have, a YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it might be. But we also have a lot of people that don't. They have completely faceless brands. Every info product that I've been involved with have been completely faceless. Even ecom businesses that teach you how to start your own Shopify store, dropshipping store, or offers that are like even like sports handicapping, where you're selling sports picks to the end customer. Both of them are able to generate 7 figures a month. But it's a different strategy, obviously, than someone that has 1 million followers on Instagram or YouTube. So, taking advantage of your social reach and organic growth is great. What that does, it really like creates a community, gives you brand authority, gives you content that can sell people. If you've got an Instagram or TikTok that someone subscribed to, you actually have already, gotten the first step of acquiring that lead. And now the next thing you need to do is push them through your sales funnel, right? Um, so, it actually gives you a lot of brand authority because now they view you as an expert. They're listening to what you say. They followed you for a reason because they gave you some sort of value. When you have paid traffic, something like Instagram ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads, it's a bit different where it is very, very valuable as well. But you don't have the ability to kind of create that brand authority with them. So with the paid traffic, you're gonna have a lot more compelling of a hook. And kind of really go back into point one and point two of what I said of, making sure that you're solving a problem that feels like an emergency and you're crafting an offer that feels stupid to say no to. And then, utilizing paid traffic sources like Meta, TikTok, YouTube ads are very scalable. The best, solution is to kind of do all of the above, right? Where you want to make sure you have an engine that every dollar you spend brings back $3 to $5, which is where, hitting 7 figures just becomes a numbers game at that point. The concept of spending $1 and making back 3 to 5 is kind of what's called your ROAS, your return on ad spend. So you want to make sure your ROAS is optimized. If you have organic streams of people coming in, that's also great. If you have paid traffic in addition to that, that's great. Now you've got a real machine that you've built where no matter what, you have multiple engines where leads are coming in. My favorite lead gen model out of all of them is referrals and affiliates. With Fanbasis, we were able to build a 9 figure business within 2 years with our referral and affiliate model, where we essentially allow anyone that joins fan bases to potentially, you know, be signed up for our affiliate program, where if you refer other businesses that are driving whatever kind of volume to our platform, we allow you to get a percentage of their business in perpetuity. It usually starts at a couple of months where you can get, 0.5% of someone's top line revenue for the first 90 days. And then as you refer more and more people and the total amount of referred GMV starts to add up, it can turn into a perpetuity deal. So our top affiliates turn into our top affiliates are making about $250,000 a month at this point, just from making a bunch of group chats with us or reaching out and finding hundreds of different businesses that can join our platform. um Christian, to answer your question, yes, Fanbases does allow you to create affiliate links for your own products. So basically you can go in, you create, a product, or, for example, a Discord community, a high ticket offer, whatever it might be, and you can assign anyone to be an affiliate and you can determine the percentage you want to give them. So, that's definitely something that, you can take advantage of with our platform. The next point I want to go over is kind of social proof and believability. If your customer doesn't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. That's a fact. You need to have case studies, testimonials, customer wins. Those things are non-negotiable. Whether it be on your VSL, whether it be on your landing page, whether it be through your sales pitch and your sales guys kind of walking them through that, needs to be something that you have, because the objections that most businesses get, especially when they're smaller and making less than 50K a month, is the fact that they just aren't able to establish trust with that customer. Usually if you're starting a business out too, like, they're not going to have hundreds of reviews already. If you go to Amazon right now and you're looking for toothpaste, for example, are you going to buy the one that has 0 reviews, or are you going to buy the one that has hundreds of reviews, or thousands of reviews? Obviously, you're going to buy the one that has more reviews, that has 5 stars, and you're like, okay, this is great. Everyone agrees that this is great. Now, with that, when you're starting out, it's a little bit trickier to get those reviews through the door, because, one, people don't want to be first. They want to see proof before they commit. And then two, they also, you need to get your clients through the door first and give them a great experience to get those reviews. So if you're able to form case studies of, even your previous success, say you're selling an e-commerce program and you're starting that business today, where you're teaching people how to start their own drop shipping business, you can go through and make yourself a case study and say, hey, I was, working a 9 to 5 job. I started this business. This is what I was able to do for myself. And then as you get more and more clients, give them a discount for giving you a testimonial, for example. Or, if you provided a really good service and they're very, very happy with what they did, ask them to leave a review, ask them to give you a testimonial. Now you can start utilizing those through your sales pitch. You can start utilizing those on your landing page. You can start utilizing those on your VSL funnels. So, this is something that's super, super important. And a lot of people look over it and where they're like, oh, I don't need this. I can make my ads good enough, make my sales pitch good enough. That's true. Don't get me wrong. You can still close clients without it, but you'll close a lot more if they see something, they're like, oh, wow, like, it seems like everyone that's joined this program or, works with this agency is crushing it. Why would I not do that? And then the next is, having payment flexibility and uh, seamless transactions. Most entrepreneurs don't realize this, but the way that you accept payments directly affects your revenue. Couple reasons. One, if you don't have financing options and you're selling a high ticket product, it's going to be difficult for you to acquire a lot of your customers, especially if you're working in the how to make money online space. So, what we've seen with fan bases is, and we have tons of different structures of offers, right? I told you guys we have a lot of people that run different organic, different paid, whatever it might be. But even on the back end, kind of the formula that we see that's kind of consistent with every 7-figure a month offer is they've got some level of an MRR structure and some level of a high ticket business. So you can build a 7-figure a month offer with just high ticket, but the best way to do it is actually having, a subscription revenue stream as well. So if you're able to generate, $100,000 to $200,000 a month by having a subscription stream where, they're paying you monthly for access to a community, for example, access to a course, access to weekly group calls, or whatever it might be, give them like limited value for that subscription. But that whole pool of people that are paying the subscription are also able to be upsold onto this digital product service or whatever your high ticket offer is. So, and that way too, you also have the ability to, know every month, hey, I want to make at least $50,000 or $70,000. And you can utilize that and say, okay, I have 70 grand coming in no matter what. That's all net profit at this point because it's on a subscription stream. Let me, make that my advertising budget. So you can spend that 50, 70K. Obviously for the seven-figure offers, they're able to get their MRR streams to like 300, 400K a month. That's what you kind of want to use to, like, one, de-risk yourself, where baseline you have money coming in that you can invest back into the business every single month. But also the best part is every single one of those people can be upsold into your higher ticket offer. And that's where, having great payment infrastructure comes in, where utilizing our platform gives you the ability to set up one like really unique subscription products. So you can make it so someone can get a 7-day free trial into your platform or your Discord, your community, whatever it might be. And then after that, they could start getting billed $99 a month. Or you can make it so that they pay $1 upfront. And then after 30 days, they start getting billed $29.99 a month. And the price point for actually doing MRR kind of really depends on the offer and the amount of value that you're giving someone. At the end of the day, um, you really want to make sure that those people are staying and there's enough value that they're getting for the price point that they're paying, because the two main goals with the MRR streams are, one, to have that baseline level of revenue. So if you have a really high churn, it's going to be difficult to kind of keep upselling people and make sure that that stream is growing. And then also is to have that pool of people that you can actually upsell into your high ticket digital product or service. And kind of what we see across the board too, that's consistent, is the sweet spot for having a high ticket offer is between that 2 to 5K price point. And the reason it's a larger range is, when you have your offer solidified, you already have, hundreds of people, thousands of customers that are working with you. It makes sense to kind of go towards that $5,000 mark, that $4,000 to $5,000 mark. But when you have less people, less traction, makes more sense to go to that 2 to 3K mark, because it would minimize the amount of chargebacks you get, especially if you're still building out the offer. You're still trying to figure out, how can I make this as valuable as possible for everyone that buys. The reason that we say to stick under a 5K price point typically is because you can utilize financing options. And that's where fan bases comes into play, where we can allow you to give your customers financing options. And Barbara, to answer your question here, terms like ROAS and MRR. So ROAS is return on ad spend. That means for every, $10 you spend on ads, you want to be making 30, 50, $60. So that amount, for every dollar you spend, the amount that you're making back is your return on ad spend. So if you spend one to make five, that means you're at a 5x ROAS. If you're spending one to make 10, you're at a 10x ROAS. And MRR, that's monthly recurring revenue. So what I was saying basically is you want to have a monthly recurring revenue stream that's really strong, and then also have a high ticket offer on the back end. And that's like the formula that we see. It's not, you can do either or. We have a lot of people that are successful doing, just MRR or just high ticket offers. But the really, really successful offers, what we see is they usually have both. So that's kind of why I'm saying, it's a formula to building a 7-figure a month offer. This is what we see as kind of consistent amongst a lot of people that are highly, highly successful in the info product space. Going back to what I was saying, about the price points of these offers, having something at that, 2 to 5K price point, what that also allows you to do is take advantage of financing options for your customers. And that's something you can get with working with us. We're the only company in the space that's been able to actually create direct partnerships with companies like Affirm, Afterpay, Klarna, Zip, Sezzle. And what that allows you to do is, it allows your customers to finance something, because especially if you're building a high, how to make money online space, I'm sure a lot of you guys too, would probably opt to take a financing solution rather than pay for something upfront. That 5K that you're paying upfront, if you're planning on investing that into your business, it might make more sense for you to pay $250 a month for the next 24 months or the next 12 months, and be able to utilize that 5K for cash flow into your business, right? So you can offer your customers the same exact thing, where, if you're selling something at 3K, 4K, you can allow your customers to finance that up to 36 months or 48 months, and pay $0 down, where it makes it an even no-brainer for them to sign up with you. So what we typically see on average is if a business doesn't have financing solutions within the first 60 days, they're able to collect about 38% more cash. So, almost 1.5x is their business and that's on average. We've seen multiple cases depending on the offer and the kind of leads that you get, where if you have typically lower quality leads that are less qualified, you can 3 to 4x your business. We've seen people go from 200K a month or even 100K a month to like $1 million a month just by having access to these financing options, because they're able to go back to all the leads that they weren't able to close and say, hey, we actually have a way for you to sign up now. You can finance this whole thing, because a lot of people at the end of the day, especially in America, don't have $2,000 to $5,000 to invest. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about the chargeback process as well. That's something we also specialize in. Um, so on the financing side, the reason that we say don't go above that 4 to 5K price point, especially to start, unless you really want to, like, unless the value you're providing is really heavy and you have really qualified leads, is because it's harder for people to get approved for financing after that 5K price point. If it's at a 2 or 3K price point, you can get a lot more approvals, and a lot of people will get approved for $0 down. But when you're at that 4 to 5K price point, you can still kind of get that. People might have to put a little bit of money down. Once you exceed that 5K price point, it's really a little bit more difficult to get people approved for like 7, 8, 10K. So that sweet spot range is like between that 2 to 5, especially if you're starting out your offer. I would probably keep it around that 2 to 3K point. Um, and to answer your question, Shandia, about chargebacks and how that process works. So what we've done at Fanbasis, and actually if you utilize our platform, you're able to take advantage of this with our premium product. So is we have a dispute resolution center. And what we've done is we've actually um, we've actually partnered and hired the individuals that used to be at these credit card companies and banks that would be the ones reviewing the chargeback cases. So if a customer filed a chargeback, these guys will be the ones that are looking at the merchant's evidence and the customer's evidence and deciding who to put it in favor of. And we essentially had them come and consult with us to create a whole blueprint on how to win these, chargebacks. And they, with working with our platform, if you submit your, chargeback evidence, you can kind of keep it raw, where you submit the contract, submit whatever, deliverables they had. And what they'll do is create a 20 to 30 page document, putting all your evidence in order, creating a story around it, using 60 different data points that we collect at checkout. For example, we see where if someone used their credit card at their house, we have their IP address compared to where their credit card's IP address is typically registered. So if they say it was a fraudulent transaction, we have evidence right then and there to, say, hey, this was not a fraudulent transaction. So working with Fanbasis actually gives you access to our dispute resolution team that can essentially, make sure you win as many chargebacks as possible. We typically win about 88% of our chargebacks, or chargebacks for our sellers. And the reason we lose 12% of them is there are cases where there is fraud, where someone does use a stolen credit card, or someone does, get their identity stolen or something along those lines. In those cases, we don't win, and it would be unethical for us to win. But for the most part, if you delivered your product or service to someone and you have evidence of that, it's pretty easy for us to win with the structure that we've created, because we've essentially hired experts to fight these disputes and chargebacks. And yeah, so to the best things to have when it comes to fighting these chargebacks and disputes is have a contract with your customer. If you have a contract and it's bulletproof, it increases your chance of winning significantly. And it doesn't necessarily need to be just a contract. For example, like if you sign up on Fanbases, you can say, hey, I want to add my terms and conditions to the checkout page, and we can add that in for you, where basically, that is essentially a contract. If you accept someone's terms and conditions, that's a contract. You want to also have a refund policy that's explicit on your contract. We recommend having it on your website as well. Because that if there's a refund policy and it's black and white of, hey, there's no refunds, or you have refunds for the first 30 days or 60 days, whatever it might be, it is super, super helpful, because the bank looks at that and goes, oh, this customer cannot get a refund. They're not eligible for it. When it comes to, kind of what I was mentioning before of doing, of kind of having those risk reversal things where you're crafting an offer that feels stupid to say no to, the guarantees, the limited spots, like if you have a money back guarantee, for example, where if you don't like our service or you don't make 10K a month in the first 90 days, able to get your money back, it's very good to have a explicit, like what it's called an action-based money back guarantee, where it should never be something that that's something that's like, hey, you for any reason ever you can get your money back. There always should be specific terms that you have in that money back guarantee, where it's like you have to do X, Y, Z. You have to, like, for example, if it's an e-com business, it's like you have to run ads for at least 90 days. Because if you run ads for 5 days and it doesn't work, then you never did the business justice, but that company still paid to build you your Shopify store, for example, or give you that consulting, whatever it might be. So you also want to make sure that you have your bases covered, even if you're giving them a no-brainer offer. But it's also important to be upfront with that customer when you're selling them and say, hey, these are the terms if you want to take advantage of our money back guarantee. With that being said, with working with Neo today, Neo's someone that we respect a lot. He wanted to personally kind of waive the sign up fee that we have. So our business with fan bases, we typically only work with companies that do over $30,000 a month. Um, with that, I know that some people are in this room are kind of beginners, and we typically have a sign up fee that's involved for about $1,000. So with a relationship with Circle of Greatness team and Neo, we're waiving that fee for everyone there. And you can sign up scanning this QR code. Basically, first we have a priority solution and premium offer called Fanbases Premium, where you get priority onboarding, a dedicated account manager. The dedicated account manager can also provide you with consulting. Everyone on our team has had a 6 or 7 figure a month business at some point. So you actually have the ability to take advantage of all of those, all the resources you have for the first 10 people that get signed up. And I'm going to send a link over here as well. Make sure you sign up with this link or with the QR code, because it will give you access to premium rates. So we're cutting our rates in half on the processing side for essentially everyone that's signing up here. And what this allows you to get access to with Fanbasis is, just to recap, the most scalable payment processing. We don't do any shutdowns. We don't do reserves. We don't do holds. We only work with businesses that we know are doing good work. Because, we've kind of created a solution here for Stripe. Obviously, a lot of people that have used Stripe or other payment processing platforms have gotten those restrictions. And, we've seen it kill businesses. If you have a business and you get slapped with a 30% reserve, but your net margin is only, your margins for your business are only 25, 30%. Now you're not able to invest anything back in the business. And we've seen people that have gone under because they don't have that cash flow. So with Fanbasis, we wanted to strive to kind of beat all of that and say, hey, this is a scalable payment processing solution. You'll never need to worry about, being able to accept a payment. At the end of the day, you can do everything right. You can run a great, great creatives on your ads. You can have a closer that's doing a great job. The customer's ready to sign up, and the customer's card is getting declined, or you end up getting a hold on your. They need to call their bank to actually get accepted. We're able to solve all of that. So the last thing you need is your payment processing infrastructure working against you when you've done everything right and you've actually closed the deal. So we built our whole product for digital products, digital services, digital communities. If you have any sort of agency, Fanbasis is the right solution for you. With that too, you'll have to go on, fill out that form as soon as you sign this or fill out this QR code. I also send the type form link in the chat here. With that, there's an onboarding checklist. Put a little bit of information about your business in there, and then schedule a call with someone on our onboarding team, and they'll be able to give you a full walkthrough of our whole platform, exactly how to utilize it, how to take advantage of the buy now, pay later solutions, the financing options I was just mentioning, and also just help you kind of craft your plan for scaling your business. The more info you give us, the easier it is for us to help. We kind of position ourselves as Fanbasis is not just like a payment processing solution or a software tool. We're a partner in your company without taking any equity in your business. So feel free to utilize us as a resource. Obviously, we work with lots of highly successful businesses and know what works and what doesn't. So, at the end of the day, we only make money when you guys do. So we want to provide as much value as we possibly can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yash. Make sure you guys go at least just create your account, go in there, start exploring this weekend, go through the checklist, and everybody put thank you. Yash. Yes, they do, Sheena, work with new companies. So it doesn't matter if you guys, I would say go ahead and set this up now, even if you haven't started processing. yet, but you plan on it this year, go ahead and at least just set that up so it's ready to rock and roll whenever the time comes. So thank you, Yash, man, for coming in and dropping some gems and just going ahead and just being a servant to everybody, especially on a Saturday. So
Absolutely.
we'll make sure everybody goes your way. And again, we appreciate you.
Thanks for having us here.
All right, thanks, man. Awesome, y'all. So listen, that's just we got more. Everybody put more in the chat. We got more. And so we got to go fast though, because I know some of our speakers are on time crunches here. And so we just want to make sure we're just giving you as much value as possible. Okay. So I want to go ahead and bring up our next speaker. So far we've learned about LLCs, tax structuring. We've talked about payment processing. Now we're going to talk about Instagram marketing. And though this next individual has a tool that he's going to blitz through and show you all that can help you reach more people more faster. Reach who wants to reach more people faster on your Instagram? Put me in the chat, that's you. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up a good friend of ours, Christian Crenshaw with Social Mize. He's gonna be coming up and sharing some gems with you guys today. Thank you, Christian. I know it's a Saturday, so thank you for sacrificing your time to be here with us. I'm gonna give you the floor and let's go right on in.
Yes, sir. How's everybody doing? Drop a two in the chat if you guys can hear and see me okay. Drop a two in the chat if you guys can hear and see me okay. Awesome, guys. I'm really excited to talk with you guys today. Shout out to all of you guys for hopping on a Saturday as well, man. I love that. It means you guys are action takers and you guys are taking, your business seriously by learning from others, even on a Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into everything. What's up, Kendra? Good to see you. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into everything. I know I'm gonna run a little bit of the time, but I want to make sure I give you guys insane amount of value. But real quick before I do, I want to get a ballpark of everybody here. Let me see in the chat if you could let me know, and let's just let's be open book in a community in here. In the chat, let me know what is your business, okay? What your business that you do, and let's do an open book. How much are you making per month? Let's do a month. Let me just know how much are you making per month. What is your business and the amount you're making per month right now? And if you're just getting started, that's fine too. I just want to see where I need to take this call and make sure I am helping everybody. Okay, I got yoga and fitness. I got baking, just getting started, mortgage, AI-based. Okay, author and content creator. My niche is men's health. Okay, interior designer, retail. Okay, Johnson Nehemiah, 1500, just getting started. Cool. Cool. All right, hairstylist, 10K a month, affiliate. Awesome, cool. So what I'm gonna be talking to you guys about is I'm gonna be talking to you guys about probably the number one funnel right now, which is utilizing your Instagram to get more leads, get a bigger audience, and convert those leads to paying customers, okay? So that's what I'm gonna be talking about. I am going to share my screen and hop right into it. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, cool. So real quick, before I actually get into everything, for those that don't know me, my name is Christian Crenshaw. I'm the founder and CEO of CommunityLaunch.com as well as SocialMize. I've been in this space for a minute now, helping people like you to grow their personal brand and also monetize their personal brand with communities. I'll share a little bit about that in a second, but going ahead and starting, I'm gonna show you guys what we call the SocialMize funnel. It's essentially a funnel that's going to convert new leads into paying clients. So I want you guys to just track with me real quick. So the first thing is optimizing your Instagram profile. Okay, optimizing your Instagram profile. All right, and what does that look like? One, it looks like going ahead and getting that meta verification. Right, it's like 15 bucks. It's like 15 bucks, but it's way worth, it's really worth that $15. All right. So I need you guys to go ahead and buy that meta verification. If you're a business owner and you use Instagram for your business, or or if you're not using Instagram for your business, you should have a blue check by your account. It's super easy to get it. I'm not going to go into how to get it. Just Google it. It takes like 5 minutes. All right. Next thing is you want to have an optimized bio. Okay. What I look for an optimized bio. One, you need to have a clear call to action on what you do. Talk about yourself with a transformative statement or just an I help statement. You can say, if you do like a service-based business, it's pretty simple. You say, hey, you can just say you're a barber. You can say you're a hairstylist. If you are a coach, I help X type of people achieve X type of thing. That's a transformative statement. You want to have a good profile picture that clearly you can see your face in the profile. Okay, that's really important. Sometimes you have a business owner, and you have a picture of your car, picture of your dog, picture of your kids. None of that. All right. You can have a picture, clear picture of your face. And then you want to have three pinned posts in your Instagram. All right, those three pinned posts, you just need to have something that's informative, highest engaged, and then best value. Okay. Everybody tracking with me? Comment one in the chat if you guys are tracking with me. I want to see who's tracking with me. Cool. All right, cool. Next thing you're gonna do now that you have your optimized bio, optimized profile. Oh, CTA means a call to action. Call to action is when you say like click the link in my bio or DM me the word hair, for a 20% discount of, my services or something like that. All right. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna need to get people to go to your profile. Okay. Get people to go to your profile. One thing you can do is you can post content around your niche to build authority and on page utilizing the lazy content method. This is actually a method that my good friend Sharif built out, and I think he's speaking. Excuse me. I think he's speaking on a later date. But essentially, you're gonna post content consistently. Essentially, doing talking head videos. Essentially, just reading a script, or you can do what we call the duet method. That's essentially, you guys have probably seen it, where someone has their phone out and they're just nodding their head and they're pointing to the next direction. That does really well. You have another video side by side where someone's talking about whatever your industry is, and then you push people in. Okay, you're gonna post a lot of those. The next one you're gonna do is you're gonna utilize Socialize, which is our AI tool, to target your ideal audience and engage with their Instagram stories. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna touch on Socialize real quick. But real quick, just raise your hand or comment a three in the chat if somebody has ever liked your Instagram story who you did not know. They like your Instagram story and you're like, who is this person? How do they find me? Where do they come from? They got like 100,000 followers. They got a blue check. They seem super legit. They're doing a bunch of cool stuff. And you're like, how did they find me and like my Instagram story? All right, I'm seeing threes in the chat. I like it. I like it. Cool. Let me know in the chat. Raise your hand if any coach, celebrity, anybody has ever added you to their close friends on Instagram. Someone said three, slow down. All right, guys. Three in the chat if anybody has ever added you to their close friends on Instagram. And you're like, we're not even close. I don't even know you. Where'd you come from? All right, I'm seeing some threes. Cool, cool. I'm seeing some threes. That means you guys are paying attention. So what they're using is they're actually using our AI software called Socialize, right? They're using that. And they're using it because it helps them to get more followers. It helps them to increase their engagement. It helps them to make more money. Okay. That's the reason why they use it, right? So essentially, instead of having to pay for ads, thousands of dollars for ad spend, you can utilize a software like this that's going to get you around anywhere from the low end, a few followers all the way to like 10 followers a day if you have a very optimized Instagram profile. So you're looking at getting around 200 to 500 new leads every single month. Okay. Comment a me in the chat if you got 200 to 500 new leads every single month, if that will help you to make more money. If you got 200 to 500 new leads in the chat, new leads in your Instagram, would that help you make more money? Would you know how to convert those people, right? So what I'm going to do on this call is I'm going to give you guys a free trial of this tool because I'm partnered with Neo and Neo wanted me to help you guys out. I'm going to give you guys a free trial of this tool. I don't have the time to show you guys how to completely set it up, but you guys will be able to book a call with our team to set it up. But I'm gonna also show you guys how to convert those people into actually paying clients. Is that cool with you guys? If I give you guys a free trial and I show you guys how to convert those leads to paying clients, is that cool? All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get into it real quick. Cool, boom. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat real quick. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. This is a 3-day free trial of Socialize. go ahead and grab it real quick. Usually it's $100 just to get started, but I'm giving you guys a free trial on this call. All right. Give everybody a second to go ahead and get it. And I'm gonna walk you guys through how to set up. Here's some testimonials. Dion Cooper, he was able to make $22,000 on a light day utilizing this tool.
Hey man, just want to make this video for
I'm
Christian.
not going to show this whole testimony, but this is American income. He usually asks people like, what do you do for a living? He was able to 10x his story views utilizing this tool. Here's some other people. They were able to 10x their story views using this tool as well. Okay. So moving on, after you guys grab your free trial, that's in the chat right here. Okay. You're going to get an email and get linked and get pushed to book a setup call. So it should redirect you immediately to book a setup call. Go ahead and book that call. As I said before, we're not going to have time to set everything up on this, this meeting, but I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to go ahead and book their setup call. It's going to be a one-on-one call with our operations manager, Rafi, who knows all the ins and outs. He's going to make sure that you're successful. We also have courses and modules inside of WAP that you guys can utilize to also learn all the information and take the courses and everything like that. Okay. Step 4, check for your email. Check your email for your login. Sometimes it might show up in promotions. All right. It might show up in promotions and it might show up, sometimes in spam. Check your email. It should look like this. It's just say access, have you the access link right here, have your email and then your password. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to log into Socialmize. You're going to log into Socialmize by putting in that information. Shandia, I don't, you might have to maybe just refresh your page. It should be able to, it's just, should be able to send you everything. Log into Socialmize. And again, we're not going to be able to walk everybody through everything. So make sure you guys book that call. All right. You're going to add your Instagram account to Socialmize. So your username, your password to your IG, and then our platform, you're going to select Android. Under verification, you want to select wherever you normally get sent your 2-factor authentication code. That's where you're going to select. It might be email, it might be phone number. So select that. And then under country, you're going to select the USA if you live in the USA. If you don't live in the USA, then select the best available option. We have UK, Germany, Canada. Any of those options might work for you. Okay. All right. Next thing you're going to do is you are going to select, go to homepage and then select configure now. Beverly can only do one IG account on the platform, but you can always, do another subscription and get that. Yeah, Shonda, it is enough time. You should be able to get pretty instant results. All right. Then you're going to set up your targeting. Now, here's something that we've tested. The more targeting, the better. We have some people who are getting like 20 followers a day, and they have 50 to 100 targeting on here. So you're gonna select. Essentially, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put in your competitors or people who have a target audience that you would like. So let's say you do credit repair, for example. You might select him 500. You might select Smitty. All right, let's say you do I keep thinking about someone who said they're a hairstylist. You might select the top hairstylist, multiple top hairstylists. And what your Instagram is gonna start doing is it's gonna start scraping their followers and it's gonna start liking those followers' stories on Instagram. Okay. Liking those follower stories on Instagram. So you want to select as many, you can select under people followers. Yeah, you can do select Android because it makes it run better, but you can do iPhone, it's fine. You can do people followers. I would also do people likers. Now these are people who like the posts of people of those accounts that you selected. All right. After you do that, you're gonna add the settings. All right, you're gonna select polls, poll sliders, quizzes, countdowns, answers, and mass looking. And again, guys, I know I'm going fast, so make sure you guys book your setup call. That's gonna help a lot. And then you're gonna also select like stories, and you want to like around 12 per hour. Okay. And then after that, you're gonna select save under the settings. Save under the settings. Okay. Here's some quick testimonials. Eddie Cumberbatch was able to get 50K views on his stories. Kelsey was able to double her followers. Diamond was able to get a lot of followers. Brandon was able to get a lot of followers as well. We have, immense testimonials. But I'm gonna bounce back real quick to the Social Mize funnel. Okay, I'm gonna bounce back real quick to the Social Mize funnel. So let's say you're using this tool now, you're posting good content, you're using this tool and you're getting followers. You're getting followers, right? Or people that are coming to your Instagram and they're just liking a picture, which I consider a warm lead as well. You're going to do something really simple, right? You are going to reach out to that lead, okay? You're going to reach out to that lead and you're going to say, hey, lead, I appreciate the follow. Where are you from? Okay? That's a simple thing you're going to do. Say, hey, lead, I appreciate the follow. Where are you from? They're going to answer and they're going to say, awesome, I have some family there. Are you here to find a new hairstylist? Or are you here just for the content? All right. Are you here to fix your credit? Or are you just here for the content? Are you here for XYZ or are you just here for the content? Okay. So that's a simple opening DM script that you're going to do for people. And then you're going to continue talking with those people in the DMs. You're going to book them for a call, right? And sell them on your offer. Or you're going to continue talking to those people and then sell them into your free community or give them a lead magnet so you can get their email and phone number or push them into your paid community, whatever you feel like is best for them. Okay. So let me just go back to that real quick so you guys can see. You're using your content and you're using this AI tool to get new followers, right? Using this AI tool, using content to get new followers and get likes, engagement on your Instagram. After you get that engagement, you're going to DM all the new people. Okay? Comment a 2 in the chat if you guys are tracking with me. I know I'm going fast. Comment a 2 in the chat if you guys are tracking with me. All right, I see the 2s. I see the 2s. Okay. Now, this seems like a simple funnel, but it works really, really well, guys. It works really well. So it starts off with now, if you're posting content, you're using Socialmize and you're not getting the right amount of followers that you feel like you need, it's probably because your Instagram doesn't look good. Socialmize is only for Instagram, yes. Okay. Yeah, Socialmize is only for Instagram. Okay. So if you're not getting the right amount of followers that you would like, you got to set up that Instagram a lot better, right? So it starts off with an optimized account, having the meta verification, having a good profile, having all those good stuff. And then you use an AI tool, plus you post content on top of that, and you should be getting a good amount of followers from there, okay? Now, the other thing you want to do is you want to also add these followers to your close friends. Now, you can use Socialmize to add your followers to your close friends, okay? And that's a huge hack right now. That essentially is going to increase the engagement of your stories. So what we do is we post 3 to 5 stories back to back. Okay. Hope you guys are tracking with me. You're going to wait till all of your Instagram stories. You're going to wait till all of your Instagram stories are expired. Okay. Wait till if you guys know what that means, it means your Instagram stories only last for 24 hours. Okay, your Instagram stories only last for 24 hours. So wait until your entire Instagram story feed is expired or just delete all the stories. And then you're going to post 3 to 5 Instagram stories back to back. And 2 of them you're going to use close friends. I promise you, if you do this, you're going to have the highest performing Instagram story that you've ever posted. All right. Some things you want to post in there. You want to post some testimonials. You want to post some results. And then you want to post a CTA. And you want to make sure your CTA is a DM CTA, meaning you say, DM me the word, whatever, if you want to get started, right? That also increases your story views because now you're getting DM engagements and Instagram's going to boost your story and the story algorithm because you're getting a lot of DMs. Okay. So this is the hack. This one process has made people millions of dollars. I've had people say, hey, I had a 50K day. Usually people with a large Instagram following, I won't say like if you have a smaller Instagram following, you probably won't make 50K on there unless you have a high ticket offer. But this one little thing has made people 50K days. Okay. So this is super important. I will make sure you do this as well. And you're going to consistently do this probably 2 to 3 times a week, right? And that's how you're going to get good engagement from your Instagram stories. Cool. All right. Bet. After you do that, um, I'm not going to go through this entire funnel because it can get super in depth. But essentially, you know, after you're talking with somebody, you want to book them for an appointment. If you have an appointment setter, which it doesn't sound like you guys have appointment setters just yet. But if you're setting in your own DMs, meaning you're the person who's talking in the DMs and booking them for a call, you want to send them a link, you want to talk with them, and you want to follow up consistently. If you send somebody a Calendly link or a link to book a call and they don't book a call, continue following up until they do. You also want to send them some sort of a long form nurture video. All right. So if you're booking somebody for a call, you want to warm them up. Remember, these people are coming from a viral video you posted. They're coming from your socialize AI, you know, they might be coming from ads if you're running ads. They're probably still a little bit cold, even though they're interested in what you do. So what we want to do is we want to send them a long form nurture video, and we call this our pre-call homework video. Okay. So after someone books a call, you say, hey, go ahead and book a call, and I'm going to send you a free resource to learn about XYZ. Okay. Go ahead and book a call. And once you book a call, I'm going to send you a free bonus. I'm going to send you send you a free resource, right? And then you're going to send them a 10-minute video, 10 to 15-minute video of who you are, what you do, who you've been able to work with, the results, and how they can be best prepared for a call with you. Okay. This is going to include making sure they show up to the Zoom meeting, make sure they have the camera on. This is going to include a little bit of mindset stuff. You're going to show the best clients that you've been able to work with, and why you want to and why they need to work with you. And you can take it a step further. I'm not going to go through that, but you could also have a whole pre-call homework page where it has testimonials and results of everybody you work with. Now, when somebody books the call, they're going to watch this video. They're going to watch this video, right? That's going to help them to warm up to who you are, right? So when they hop on a call with you, they're not hopping on a call with a stranger. They already hopped on a call with somebody they watched a video, a 15-minute video about, and they've seen the testimonials, they've seen the results, you explained how you got into the space, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's going to make it a lot easy for you to sell them on your high ticket offer. Okay. Drop in the chat real quick the price point of your highest package or your highest ticket offer. Let me know in the chat. I want to know, what is the price point of your highest ticket offer or your highest, whatever you sell the highest? I see a 10K. I see a 25K. Okay. I see a 5K. What is the price point of your highest package? 10K, 5K. Let me know. 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 10K, 25, 5, 65, 10K, 5K. Whatever, even if your highest package is $100, let me know in the chat, guys. I want to know what everybody's highest package offer is. You guys should all have at least one thing that you're currently selling. Okay, 250. Okay, 1K. Highest package, 500. Okay, cool. So we utilize this to sell high ticket, low ticket, mid ticket, this entire funnel that I just took you guys through. All right. So let's say you're getting 200 to 5. Let's say you're getting, let's go low. Let's say you get 200 leads a month, right? Let's say you get 200 leads a month and you're able to close 5% of those leads. What is that? That's 10. That's 10. That's 10 leads. How much money would you be able to make in a month if you close 10 of those 200 leads of your highest package? Drop it in the chat. I want to know. How much money would you be able to make if you close 10 of those highest leads every month? I see a 50K. I see 100K. 30K. Ooh, okay. 250. Talk to me. Nice. Let's go. 15, 100. Okay. Dope. 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 Okay. The reason I say 5% because that's a pretty accurate number that you should be shooting for. When you're getting all these people to follow you, engage with you, you're able to talk with them, you should at least be getting 5%. really 10% of these people should be booking a call, right? Especially if they're following you and they're interested in something. So 10% of these people should be booking a call, and you should be able to close it for your own offer, usually around 30 to 50%. Okay. So that's the number you're looking for. But cool guys, I just wanted to say I know I do have to hop. But this is a great funnel. I know I was talking fast. Hopefully you guys are able to take some notes. Essentially, I'll give you guys a high level overview again. But essentially, you guys want to make sure that you optimize your Instagram. You guys want to make sure that after your Instagram is optimized, you're posting consistent high quality content, and you're utilizing an AI tool, especially at the start, like Socialmize is going to help you get followers on autopilot. Okay. After then, you want to book these people for a call. So reach out to these new followers. Start looking at everyone like a lead and a potential customer, and it's going to change your entire business. Right? When you get a follower, it's not like, oh, I just got a follower. It's like, no, reach out to that person. Say, hey, how are you doing? Use our DM script. Where are you from? Awesome. I have some fam there. Are you here for the content? Or are you here to XYZ? Okay, cool. And last but not least, I'm going to drop the link in the chat to go ahead and get a free trial again for anybody who missed it. Go ahead and get a free trial of Socialmize, and book your setup call or onboarding call with Rafi. That's going to help you guys a lot as well. Cool. All right. Anybody have any questions or anything? Let me know if anybody has any questions. Can we view the flow chart? I'll definitely send it over to the team, or a revised version of it, just to make it a little bit more simpler. And then you guys can definitely get that. A lot of people
All
ask.
right. Thank you, Christian. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, brother. We appreciate everybody. Put thank you, Christian, in the chat. Let him know how awesome it was. Y'all, that play alone has made Nehemiah thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars, a lot of our clients as well. So this play is not something that we just are referring to you, but we actually use this strategy as well. So thank you, Christian, for coming in and showing us the game. And we appreciate you, brother. Have a happy Saturday. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Awesome, you all. Well, listen, you guys got games so far. We got one more. Can we just have one more speaker? Is it cool if we just bring one more? Everybody put one more in the chat if you want one more. We got one last speaker, and we had to bring a queen in, y'all. We love the fellas, but we got to have a queen to end this out, right? And so what we decided to do was bring in somebody that is really like a sister to the Circle of Greatness team. We love her. She just is phenomenal at her craft, and there's nobody we would recommend more than Miss Saida Garrett Guest to teach you all on how to take the money you're going to make with this digital marketing game, this digital income game, and what to do with it. Like, she's going to help you plan what to do with that money. There's nobody else we would rather teach this topic to you all. So if you want to set yourself up with a legacy with this money you're about to make, go ahead and put a fire emoji in the chat. We're going to bring up Miss Saida to the stage now. So thank you so much for your patience, Queen. We are appreciative you're here on a Saturday, but the floor is yours as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael, so much. Great morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. How y'all feeling on this morning? Okay, can I say this? First of all, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for being here, because it says something about you on a Saturday morning, Tanya, on a Saturday morning, Danita, where you could be in your bed, where you could be watching TV, where you could be eating pancakes, bacon, and eggs, doing anything else. You all decided today that you were going to show up for yourself so that you could learn some more information. So drop some fire signs in the chat for yourselves on this morning. Somebody said it's International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to my ladies on here. I see y'all representing. Y'all are showing up on this morning. I'm so excited to be here with you. And as Michael mentioned, when you talk about making seven figures, right? When you talk about, first of all, before we get into that, where my seven-figure earners at on here? Like, and listen, don't play with it this morning, Kurt. Ashina, don't play with Barbara. Don't play with it this morning. If you know that on here, the information that you received over these past 5 days, the information that you received on today, you know without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to become the first millionaire in your family. You're going to take your business to seven figures, multiple seven figures. Somebody drop millionaire in the chat for me. Put that's me in the chat for me. Let me know where you are. And listen, don't play with it, because not everybody is there. Okay, I know some of you on here, you're not yet, you don't believe it quite yet. You don't believe it for yourself. But I know some of you on here, you're like, yep, Saida, I've been here all week. I've been showing up, camera on, front row experience. Because how you do anything, Crystal, is how you do what? It's how you do everything. right? So your last speaker was just talking to you about how to engage with your followers and how to get them to show on, but you first got to show up for yourself. That's the first step, is you got to show up for yourself. So for everybody saying, yep, that's me, but you don't got a camera on this morning, guess what? I don't think that's you. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. So you want a front row experience. So your camera should be on. You should be putting out into your business, into your learning, what you're expecting back from people. Because what do you call, Crystal? What do you call somebody who gives advice but doesn't take it themselves? Keisha, what do we call that type of person? What do we call that person, y'all? They give advice, but they don't take it themselves. Y'all got it. A fraud, a hypocrite, all those things. And that's none of you on here. So if we're talking about making 7 figures, taking our business to the next level, helping people, we got to be able to pour in that same amount of effort, that same amount of attention, because you only can ask, you only can require of other people what you give. Isn't that something? We only can require of other people what it is we give. If not, we become hypocrites. So I'm so excited to be here with you on this morning. I'm going to talk about a topic that I honestly believe is the most important topic that you would have learned over this entire week that you guys have been locked in. Okay, over this entire week. And let me tell you why I think it's the most important topic. And so if you don't have your notebook, you need to get one right now. Okay, you need to get one right now. And if you know somebody who was here and not here, you need to text them, call them, do whatever, and say, get your butt back on this call. Because how many people know that you have the information and the tools to make money? Right? You got all that. Boop. We know how we're going to make money. But where most people fall short, and this is what I'm going to share with you today, Ashina, where most people fall short is not about how to make the money. It's about 2 things. One, getting the money to work for you just as hard as you work for the money. There's a quote that says, if you don't learn how to make money in your sleep, you'll be working for money for the rest of your life. The second thing is that you have to learn how to keep the money. Come on, somebody drop keep in the chat. Somebody put keep in the chat. Somebody drop keep in the chat. How many people know, or you heard of, or you've been around somebody that we call a used to be story? Y'all know what I'm talking about? You ever heard somebody got a used to be story? They say all these things. It sounds like this. Crystal sounds like this. You know, back in my day, I used to be. Malcolm, you driving, you laughing. I know you with me. Trinell, back in my day, I used to be. Now, who on here on this Saturday morning when we could be doing anything else, who on here, your goal, your desire is to be a used to be story? Nobody's. But we know so many people that have them. They talk about them in the barbershop, in the hair salon. Anytime you, like, they come up walking to you, you know, imagine 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 5 years from now, that's you telling the young generation, back in my day, I used to be. Back in my day, my business used to be. And here's the thing that we can't fool ourselves with. Amanda, Ebony, here's the thing that we can't fool ourselves with. We are not the first generation to make money. Come on, somebody. We are not the first generation to learn how to build a business. We are not the first generation to have access to some of this information. But what you have to decide is what is going to be the differentiator between you and the used to be. What is going to be the differentiator from you saying, I've put in all this hard work, time, and effort, that it actually can mean something for the next generation, that I can actually pass it down. See, most of y'all on here this morning look like me. We might got the same skin hue. Maybe we come from the same background. We might even be cousins if I start asking you who your mama and your daddy is. But listen to this. In that, with all the hard work that our parents have put in, with all the hard work that our grandparents have put in, with all the hard work that people from generations have put in, we should be kings and queens in this here country. Yet we are facing some very unusual times. Can we agree? Some very unusual things are happening. But in all of that, we have to make sure that we are being diligent, that we are doing what's necessary. So I'm not going to be here with y'all long this morning. Okay. But I want to share with you some key concepts that when it comes to making money, if you don't learn how to do what I'm getting ready to share with you today, I don't want you to be a used to be. I want to make sure that you can actually have this last to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish. Now, here's something else I know to be true. I know you all are not here this morning just for yourselves. I know, Kendra, that you're doing this for somebody bigger than you, for a cause that's better than you. Why? Because if it was just for us, Ebony, we would be chilling. You know what? I might be okay eating oodles and noodles. I might be okay with just the bare minimum, but this thing is bigger than me. There's a reason, there's a why you're doing this. And I know some of you, like myself, Ariana, I appreciate you turning your camera on. I know some of you, like myself, have made some promises to some people. Anybody made some promises to people? I know I've made some promises. I said, you know what? Just give me this one opportunity. If I get this thing going, I promise this is going to change our lives. I promise this is going. Some of y'all asked for, you had to borrow money from some people before. Okay. Some of y'all had to do some things and you had to make some promises to some people that said, you know what? If I just get it off the ground this time is going to be different. And so with those promises, I don't know about you, but I can't break my promise. I can't break my word because I promised my grandmom some things. I promised my kids some things. I promised my family some things. And if it's going to be, it's up to who? It's up to me. So that's why I'm here, even on vacation. I'm here with you guys this morning. Why? Because I made some promises. I made some promises. And so I want y'all to drop in the chat really quickly. Just put who in here you made a promise to. You don't gotta put, you can put their name if you want to, but you can put my kids, myself. I see some of you. Just remind ourselves this morning, who do we make a promise to? Who do we make a promise to that we refuse to break it on this morning? Somebody said the haters. I love it. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to share this information really quickly. I'm not going to be long with you on this morning, but I think it's important that we understand what it means when we talk about legacy. What is that? And so we talked about our why we're doing it, who we made the promise to. And that's what it really comes down to for me. Because here's the thing, you can make all the money in the world. You can't take it with you. You can't take it with you, but you can change some lives. You can make an impact. And that's what it's about. And so when most of us talk about generational wealth, what does that look like for us? Right? We're thinking about, real estates, and we're thinking about deeds, and y'all thinking about life insurance and the businesses you have and stocks and investments and crypto. Like when we think about generational wealth, we get so excited, all the stuff we're going to do, all the stuff we're going to leave. But can I be real with you for a second, Tanya? Tanya, can I be real? What happens is most of us end up leaving our family with generational trauma. Let's be real for a second. Most people end up leaving their family with generational trauma. What does that look like? Credit card debt, tax liens on properties. What you mean you had a reverse mortgage? I didn't know there was a reverse mortgage on the house. You owed a water bill? Family conflicts, families fighting and torn apart. I don't know what it is about grandmom's gold lamp that just sets the people off. But you got this side of the family, won't talk to that side of the family, all over a gold lamp that ain't nobody touched or dusted in the past 40 years. But now we fighting and torn apart. GoFundMe's, fish fries. Your family should be talking about how wonderful, all the amazing things you did. Instead, they are pissed at you. They leaning over in that casket like, now, you know you had these kids. What you mean you didn't have no life insurance? So we got families torn apart, fighting. It's really generational trauma. Has anybody in here ever had to take care of the affairs of a loved one that passed away before? Because don't take my word for it. Check the chat. They will tell you it's probably one of the worst assignments you could ever get. So how do we go from this idea, this concept of building wealth, of being together, of making these promises, to not leaving our family in the place of generational trauma is what I'm going to share with you on today. Okay. So watch this. 70% of wealth is lost by the second generation. 70% of it. So what does that mean? That means that what you're building, if you don't do what I'm getting ready to share, your children won't even see it. That means that if you drive a 2005 vehicle, your children might drive a 2027. That's what that means. 90% of it, 90% of all wealth is lost by the third generation. Them grandbabies y'all love so much. Forget them kids. I'm doing this for my grandkids. They not going to see it. How do we avoid that? How do we do what's necessary to make sure that these promises that we talked about? And here's the thing, when people talk about generational wealth, what I always ask my clients, I say, well, when you say generational wealth, how many generations? Because what does that really mean? Let's break it down. A generation takes about 20 to 30 years. So is it one generation? Is it two? Because if it's 2 generations, that means that what you're doing today, what you're building today has to last for about 70 years. So it means it has to sustain you and last for about 70 years. What have you done differently that's keeping you from being a used to be story? Don't worry, I'm getting ready to share with you. So we know so many people, and we can hear the stories, the testimonies. Nipsey Hussle, Aretha Franklin, James Gandolfini, Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Wonderful people. Every time we hear somebody passing in the news, it's always they didn't have a will. They didn't have this. So if they didn't have these things in place, if their wealth could be lost, Michael Jackson's estate is still going through probate to this day. Every time his mom needs to do something financially, she got to go to court. His estate makes $50 million a year, the highest earning estate after death. Every single penny of it gets taxed. Why? Small mistakes, simple things, things that I'm going to share with you today, that if you're not doing these things, you're putting your family at risk. You're putting your family at risk. And we don't need famous people to tell these stories. We can look at within our own families and see how things have not transitioned, how they needed to transition. So here's some of the top reasons right here that families don't experience the generational wealth that they're looking for. Biggest one is debt. Debt. Debt doesn't go away when you go away. Somebody still has to pay for it. That's your next of kin, whether it's your spouse, your children, your family. Medical expenses. One of the biggest things that wipes out people's wealth is not if they die too soon, it's what if they get sick. Inflation and timing. It's the cost of living. See, $1 million today is the same $1 million that people talked about 10 years ago. It's the same $1 million people talked about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But how much has the cost of living grown since then? I promise you, if you leave your family a $1 million life insurance policy today, it's not going to change their life. Why? To buy a house costs $700,000. Come on, somebody. That's just making sure they got a place to live. Not having the right documents. And here's the number one. This is the one I want to talk about. Number 8, because all my business owners on here. Number 8, the loss of expertise. How many of y'all, you are the best who can do what it is you do? You're the best hairstylist. You're the best baker. Nobody can do what it is I do. Loss of expertise in business will wipe out your family from receiving generational wealth. Here's how we know it's true. You ever go to a restaurant before and you really, really like that restaurant? And then all of a sudden they change ownership? Charlie, when the restaurant changed ownership, what do we say about the food? Danita, what do we say about the food? Crystal, we like the food don't taste the same no more. Miss Shirley would never do this to me. She wouldn't change it. Like, come on now. That's what happens, right? Why? Because the loss of expertise. So you got to ask yourself as a business owner, who else am I setting up in my business? What's my succession plan? How can I make sure that I'm not the best to do it? We don't even go into some places anymore because the ownership changed. But you're saying to yourself, my goal is to pass it down to my kids. They don't like your kids. They like you. But it's the business. So we got to be doing what's necessary to make sure that we can actually have these things in place. So now I want you to do this. And this is an exercise I do with all of my clients that we help. And we've helped and serviced over 2,000 clients a day, help them improve their financial literacy, their net worth. I can tell you that I'm a best-selling author. I can tell you that I've been featured in national magazines. I can tell you all these wonderful things, but this is about you today. Okay. But I want you to know that we've helped entrepreneurs, individuals, business owners, families, everyday people improve their financial literacy and increase their net worth. And so when I sit down with my clients, one of the things I ask them, I say, what is your legacy? Why are you doing it? And so I want you to do the same thing today. I want you to write this down, Shonda. I see you taking notes. Note takers are money makers. What is your legacy? And is it more than just money? Is it more than just money? Because here's the thing about money. If you give people money with no instructions, they will take that money and do whatever it is they want to do with it. See, there's something called standards that your legacy must uphold. So you gotta ask yourself, who can participate in my legacy? If I'm up on a Saturday morning, face on camera, with the bonnet on, okay? If I'm here this morning, who can just come and participate in this? See, it's a reason that the royal family had to put Prince Harry and Princess Meghan out. It's a reason they had to go. Why? Because they've been royal for hundreds of years. Do you know what it means to be a royal? The queen said, I love you, but you got to go. Why? Because to be a part of this legacy, we have standards. When you're in public, you got to present yourself a certain way. You can't just go do anything you want to do. We dress a certain way. We eat a certain way. And it's okay if you don't want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, then you can't take our money with you. You got to go ask Tyler Perry to be your child's godfather. You can't take our security and our titles. Why? Because this legacy means something. In so many other cultures, God forbid you're not a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, they will disown you. Why? Because it means something to be a part of this. So when you're thinking about building your legacy, what are the standards? Or are you just giving it away? Anybody can have it. Who can participate in it? Without a standard, your money will mean nothing to them. They can't understand the blood, sweat, and tears of what it took for you to build this thing, to get your business to 7 figures. And so you got to ask yourself that question. And now when you put standards in place, now people act a little bit different. You know, anybody ever see that show, Ghost Power, right? And so you got Tyreek St. Patrick, his dad owned all this stuff, and they get to the table, it's a scene, I never get the scene, and they get to the table and they're reading the will, and they say, you know, Tyreek is going to get all this money, but he can't inherit the money until he graduates with a certain GPA from a 4-year university. So now Tyreek trying to run around, be in the streets, and go to school. You got to learn how to call your family to get things right. Come on, somebody. We know the power of money, but we only talk about it from a place of bad. What if you could use the money use the power of money for something good? What do all the women in your family have to accomplish in order to participate in your legacy? What do all the men need to be doing? See, sometimes in our communities, people know families by the way they fight. Oh, don't mess with them, right? They got this last name, you know they fighters, or you know this, but when people look at your last name, what will they say about you? What does that mean? What would that represent? So let me give this to you. Once you set the standards, here's the other thing that's important. You can't have, you can set all the standards in the world, Ashina, but then you need to have something that fulfill the standards. You got to have something desirable. Somebody write desire in the chat. You got to leave something desirable. Imagine telling somebody they got to stand on 1 foot, hop like a dog, take 3 cars, a bridge, all this other stuff to get 50 cents. They gonna say, no, I'm not doing all of that. But what you're building and what you're learning how to do in your businesses and what you've been doing over this past week, you got to make sure you take that serious. So that's called your estate. Your estate is all the money and all the property that a person owns at the time of their death. And here's something that I've learned. We all have an estate, but what I realize is that most of us have a value problem. We've never been taught how to properly value what it is we have. So therefore we say things like, oh, I only have this. Oh, I just got that. It's not too much. It's just a little bit of this. I'm popping your hand right now virtually. Don't you come in here talking about what is only, what is just a little bit. Let me ask you this question. If somebody gave you $10,000, would you be upset? If somebody left you $10,000, would you be mad? No. And so how is wealth built? Wealth is built brick by brick. All the bricks matter. Everything matters. But because we have not learned to properly value what it is we have things like gentrification happening in our neighborhoods. Nobody want to live in that part of the city. Nobody wants to do that. We talk so bad, so down about it. But guess what? Somebody else came in and saw the value. So now you got $1 million homes in places that you said you wouldn't dare be found in. Now we upset. No. They valued it. You didn't value it. See, your grandma bought that property in that home and she owned it for 60 years, but you called it rinky, dinky, old, and everything else. Now somebody else came in and they turned it into $1 million property and now you're mad. No. See, you got to value what it is you have. And the things that we value, we protect. Write that down. The things that we value, we protect. So how do you value it? And then how do you protect it? So there's a process. I won't get into that, but I want to share this with you and then I'm going to get up out of here. You need a plan. You have never done anything successful in your life without a plan. And so you got to ask yourself, what is my wealth plan? What is my legacy plan? What does that look like? And there's three different parts to it, and we take our clients through this journey. See, there's building wealth. That's what you're doing right now. You're learning how to build the wealth. But once you build it, you got to sustain it. You got to make sure that it actually lasts. Imagine making $1 million today. You're not about to get up out of here today. That's not the end. That's not the finish line. The good book said you can live to age 120. So think about 120 subtract your age today. That's a lot of years. And how you avoid being a used to be person is learning how to sustain that over those course of those years. You got to learn how to sustain that. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of being a used to be story. Back in my day, that's what happened. Not that they didn't know how to build the wealth, they did. Nobody ever taught them how to sustain it, how to diversify, how to build passive income, how to get guaranteed income streams, how to reduce their taxes, how to protect it with insurance. And then once you sustain it, then you can transfer it. See, most people focus on building and transfer. They miss the sustaining part. And because they don't learn how to sustain it, when it comes time to transfer it, even though they had all the best intentions, the promises in the world, guess what? There's nothing left to transfer because they couldn't sustain it. So what is your plan? You got to have a plan in place in order to do that. Now, how do you get a plan? You need people to help you implement the plan. Somebody put accountability in the chat. It's not just about having the plan, but you got to implement the plan. You need accountability with the plan. So everybody that we work with, they need to have these three people on their payroll. You need a CPA and an accountant, not the local tax guy. You need somebody who's going to help you understand, how do my taxes actually work? What's the strategy? Why do wealthy people care so much about taxes? Because taxes determine how much money you actually get to keep. That's why. Imagine if you could keep more of the money that you made. Couldn't you do more? So you need a CPA. You need an attorney, because we live in a society where people think that their way of becoming rich is by suing you. They watching you. They looking at you, all the stuff you're building, and they looking for an opportunity to come up and sue you. You need to make sure you have a plan in place. And then you need a licensed financial professional like myself, because you need a strategy. How do I sustain it? How do I make the money? How do I get the money working for me? How do I build it and pass it down? So when it comes to protecting your assets, let me give you these things really quickly, and then I'm getting out of here. Here's what you need to have, because remember, the things that we value, we what? We protect. And what is your most valuable asset right now? What's the most valuable asset that you own right now? Drop it in the chat. What's your most valuable asset? What is it? What's our most valuable asset right now? You got it. It's you. It's you. You are your most valuable asset. So if you're literally saying, I'm going to be a 7-figure earner, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire, the first billionaire, but you're walking around with $10,000 of life insurance on you, come on now. You can't really believe that. Because the things that we value, we what? We protect. And so if you know that you have the ability, your mind, your thoughts, your ideas, everything inside of you is going to create a multiple 7-figure business, you have to protect that. What happens if you get sick? What happens if you pass away too soon? See, I call life insurance the get rich or die trying plan. Baby, if I'm going to get rich, or if I die, my family's still going to get rich. Why? Because I made a promise. And I don't play about the promises that I made. It either has to happen or it has to happen. That's it. So you got to make sure that you have the right amount of life insurance. And that's just the basics. There's so many things you could do with that, but I don't have the time to get into it today. But some of y'all are right here, right now, or here are naked. Put naked in the chat. If you know right now that, you know what, I don't even have no coverage. Saida, it's me. It's me. I'm the one that if something happened right now, we having a GoFundMe. We having a fish fry. And it's okay. Put naked in the chat, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to get it together. Some of y'all are like, I didn't value myself the right way. Nobody ever taught me. I didn't understand that. I need more. I'm going to give you an opportunity to get it together. But it's not just on your life. It's also on your health. Because health is a true wealth. It's also on your assets as a business owner. It's on your retirement accounts. Last week, the stock market lost $500 million. It's not about to stop. What are you doing to protect your money from being in the market? It's your real estate. It's your businesses. It's your key people. You have to have a plan to protect them, because the things that we value, we what? We protect. So then you got to look at, how do I build passive income? This is the sustaining part. In order to sustain your wealth, you have to learn how to replace the income that you're making. And there's different ways that you can build passive income, but I'm here to tell you that not all passive income is created the same. So you got to ask yourself, what's my risk level? How liquid do I want to be? What are the tax implications? What are the income guarantees? And there's only one type of passive income that is low risk, going to give you tax benefits, and is guaranteed for life. Just last week alone, we helped our clients create $3.7 million in guaranteed passive income. Would y'all learn how to create $3.7 million of guaranteed passive income for you for the rest of your life, that no matter what you did, you could not run out of it? Well after the business is gone, well after the hustling is gone, well after all that is gone. Who in here would like to learn how to do something like that? All right, good. I'm in the right room. Okay. So it's learning how to be able to do those things. Now, let me share this really quickly. There are 4 documents that everybody needs to have in place. 4 documents that everybody needs to have in place, okay, in order to build a legacy. The first one is called a financial power of attorney. Write this down. A financial power of attorney. The reason why Wendy Williams is in the situations he's in, when you hear things with like conservatorships and guardianships and so forth, is because there was no financial power of attorney. A financial power of attorney said that if something happens to me for whatever reason, I'm not able to make financial decisions for myself, here's who I choose to do that for me. But if you don't choose to elect the person to do that, then in her case, the courts elected somebody for her. And see, you can't wait until I get sick or something happens. This has to be done now. Somebody put now in the chat. This stuff has to be done now. Second thing, you need what's called an advanced health directive or a healthcare power of attorney. If something happens to you in a medical sense, there's a medical emergency and you can't speak for yourself, who decides what happens? I had a client, and I tell this story, she was on her way to work and she had a stroke in an Uber. Went into the hospital on life support. Doctor said there's no brain activity. All of her children live in a different state. They don't live in the same state that she lives in, right? They're like, well, we believe what the doctor said. The doctor said that it ain't no brain activity. Go ahead and pull the plug. Well, let me tell y'all something. Thank God she knew somebody. Somebody said, hold on, just give it a little bit more time. Let me go and pray about it. Let me go talk to the good doctor. Okay, if y'all know what I'm talking about, let me think about it today. That client is walking, talking, working in her right state of mind. But if you don't have those documents in place, who will make those decisions for you? Who will make those decisions for you? The third document, you need a will. A will is the legal document that tells us who gets what. See, in this country, you can't just transfer assets. There's a law that allows you to do that. So if you don't tell us who gets the gold lamp, this is why this side of the family ain't talking to that side of the family, because you never told us what happens to it. Who should have it? And I know what you're saying. My mom know what to do with the kids. They know to do when I'm going. But can I be real with y'all? They don't. They don't know what to do. And Tanya, your idea of what to do is right is different than my idea of what to do is right. So now we're fighting when the only thing you had to do was tell us what you wanted to be done. And that's it. Now, a will says who gets what, but then there's something called a trust. A trust says what they can do with the what. Here's where you set the standards. Here's where you set the standards. Now you say, okay, I'm giving you the what. But in order to participate in the what, here's what I need, here's what I require of you. Because I'm not here on a Saturday morning listening to Saida talk just for you to take this and take trips to Miami. I haven't been locked in for 5 days getting this game on how to grow my business just for you to take it and go spend it on sneakers and some other things. I'm here because I want this to last for generations, because I made some promises, because I was the one that was chosen. If it's to be, it's up to me. I'm going to be the generational curse breaker. I'm going to be the first in my family. And at this time, we're not going to be a used to be story, because we had that for generations. But here's what's required for us to do it, okay? And so there's different types of trust. I can't get into that on today, but I'll give you an opportunity to talk about it and how you fund them and so forth, okay? But I wanted to share this with y'all because it's so important that in everything you're learning and all the money that you're making, you have to learn how to keep it, how to sustain it, how to have the right tools in place to do it, how to properly value what it is you have today, knowing that where you're going. There's a quote that somebody said to me. They said, "You only are thinking about quitting. You're only thinking about quitting because you're looking at where you are and not where you're going. If you constantly look at where you're going, you will value yourself, because the things that we value, we what? We protect." There we go. All right, guys. So I wanted to share that with y'all. Was that helpful for y'all this morning? Was that good for y'all this morning? Okay. Now I know some of y'all, I'm seeing it in the chat, y'all got questions. I don't have the time to answer the questions on today, but I want to make sure that I do give you an opportunity to get your questions answered. If you need more information about how to properly value yourself, for those people who said, "Saida, it's me, I'm naked, I need help with life insurance," I want to give you an opportunity to sit down with our team and get those things into place. If you're like, "Saida, it's me, I need an estate plan. I don't have those documents in order. I'm married. I have kids. I have real estate. I have property. I need to get one of those." I want to give you an opportunity to do that. If you're like, "Saida, it's me. It was my money lost in the stock market last week. I don't want to keep losing it. I'm close to retirement. I'm trying to retire from my job so I can go full force in this business. I need a game plan. I need passive income. It's me." I want to give you an opportunity today to be able to get those questions answers to see how we could be of service for you. Is that okay on this morning? Is that okay? Miss Sandra, is that okay? Shayla, is that okay? All right, because I'm gonna say, let me know, because I keep it for myself. I keep it for myself and my clients, okay? All right, good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna I opened up a few spots, not a lot, guys. Not a lot. Just a few. So it's really just for those people who are serious. Like, Saida, yep, it's me. I made these promises. Like, I'm serious on this morning. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat for y'all to book a call with our team, so that one, they can help you with these areas. Because everything you're doing, it doesn't make sense to build all this wealth just to give 40% of it away don't get me started this morning, just to give 40% of it away to the government. You understand what I'm saying? When they are keeping what they have, but you're working hard to give it away. Okay. So I'm putting a link in the chat. If you're like, "Yep, that's me, I need this information," I want y'all to go ahead and book a call with our team. Now, it's not a lot. And I know I'm going to get the comments on here, because it happens every time. It fills up. Not only can open up, but so many. But they're going to say all the spots is going. So don't wait. Book your call now, because they're going to be filled up. And I can't open up any more once that happens. Okay? We only have a limited amount of spots that we can do that. All right? All right, good. Michael, I don't know if we have time for Q&A or what the game plan is. I know they've been locked
Question
in.
is, do you have time for Q&A?
I'll take a few questions.
Okay, cool.
Got some time.
Cool. And so after you book your call with Saida's team, just put "booked" in the chat. But if you have a question, which actually there's one here, Saida, that I see in the chat, I thought it was a great question. Ms. Barbara says, "Can you have life insurance even if you don't have the greatest health?"
Yeah. So that's a question that a lot of people ask, right? And so when it comes to life insurance, sometimes we count ourselves out because we are the ones that are evaluating our own health. I have clients that have issues and concerns that will take them out of here, that we still can get covered with life insurance. But because we tell ourselves we're not asking the right questions, we're not talking to the right people, we're counting ourselves out. See, the great thing about working with our firm is I own my firm. I don't work for any company. So therefore, I partner with over 200 different companies so we can find what it is you need for you. So long story short, the answer is yes, you still can. Now, there are some occasions where you can't, but even in those occasions, we're really good at what we do. We probably can find you something. Okay. All right, good. Any other questions? And I see somebody has their hand raised.
Hi, I do. My
Yes.
name is Shonda. So we
Okay.
just inherited my uncle had money in the bank. So it's about 45. So now they're saying because I'm the estate person,
Yep.
I have to claim it as income and file taxes like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to, what that would just like really bump up my income. So how can I get around it or can I have a lot of write-offs?
So here's the thing, and I didn't touch base on this slide because we didn't go into it, but taxes are so important. And I'm telling you, and I thank you so much for your question, right? So in certain states, there's something called an inheritance tax. Shonda, what state are you in?
I'm in Maryland, but he died in New Jersey.
Uh-huh. So in certain states, there's something called an inheritance tax, meaning that when you inherit somebody's property, even if you don't want it, you still got to pay taxes on it. Now, the other
Hmm.
thing, Keisha, is like, I can't believe, yes. So this is why you got to have these conversations with your family members. This is what I'm
Hmm.
saying to y'all. Mom, dad, aunt, uncle, whoever. Are you leaving me something? Do you have this stuff in order? Because when I get it, it's going to give me a headache. So, one, there's something called inheritance tax. Two, even after a person passes away, income taxes due on their money within 9 months after them passing away. So if you are left as the executor of their estate, which that's where you are in this case, you are the one that's responsible for paying for that. So you ever see those signs in your neighborhood, those ugly signs that say like "We buy houses" that somebody just wrote with a Sharpie marker? And you're like, who would ever call that number? The person who owes taxes on the property that they inherited with, and they got to pay those taxes within 9 months. So things like "We buy houses as is, cash within 30 days." That's who they're targeting. See, people are targeting your wealth because they know that you don't understand what's getting ready to happen. And now you're put in this position. So, what can I do in this case? Is one, yes, you do have to pay the taxes on that. And those taxes that you have to pay, they get added on top of your ordinary income, which can put you into a different tax bracket, which sounds like what is happening. So, how you get around that is being able to you have a CPA? Yeah. So, you're going to need a CPA, but being able, do you have a business though?
Yes.
Okay. So having your CPA try to offset some of that income with business expenses. But then y'all see why it's important, why you need those three people
Mm-hmm.
in your wealth plan, right? We can't, let me tell y'all, we plan for everything else. But why do we think when it comes to our money, we can just wing it? Dr. C says she booked her call. Congratulations. I'm excited. Tanya says she booked her call. Congratulations. Y'all listen, y'all better get them spots. Because see, you're thinking too small. If you didn't run and book your call, you're thinking too small. And then you're going to end up in a situation where it's impacting you. Courtney books her call. Congratulations. So I hope that helped, Shonda, on what you can do.
It
So
did.
can you get around it? No, but you need a good CPA. You need a good
Okay.
CPA. And you also need to use this as an educational thing, right? Because I'm assuming maybe your uncle didn't have kids.
Nope.
Yep. Yeah, my best friend just went through the same thing with her uncle. No kids, not married,
Not married.
and very
Nope.
secretive. So now you looking and searching for stuff and trying to figure out, and all that stuff falls on you. So you got to know how that works, okay? So I hope that helps,
Okay.
right? But make sure you book a call with our team, okay? All
I am. I'm about to book my call. Thank you.
right, you're so welcome.
And some last question from Shanla. What's up, Shanla?
Hello, Sadia. Thank you first and foremost for all the information. Like, this is amazing and right on time with me because I am currently right now working with my attorney, far as with my trying to structure some things because I need to do a special trust for one of my loved ones.
Okay.
Um,
Special needs trust.
Special needs trust, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right.
And because they don't have that capability to be able to manage the type of money that's being left, right, with my will. So I'm going back through my will. Basically, I have the will, I have the POA, all of that, but I'm doing updates. I'm updating some information. Just had a new grandbaby last year. So just
Right.
all of those things need to be inclusive now, right? And then with my company. So we're doing my personal side now. But I already booked my call. I want to talk to your team because I want to talk about leveraging life insurance that has value,
Okay.
1Ks, and then my properties. And then the other thing that I did mention to my attorney was my companies. Like I need to get this stuff in a trust.
Yep.
Um, and like I said, I want to make sure that it's distributed properly, and then I put the right hands over to make sure my legacy definitely is executed in the way that I want it to go. Where everything I worked hard for is not just ran through, and then now that I have a grandchild, that they'll be able to capitalize and be in a good starting point for their education in life. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really need some expertise from your company when it comes to the financial planning piece with my companies, and also that special trust, because I know it can get tricky when you get benefits.
It
Um,
is. Yep.
and because there's survivor benefits involved from my late husband. So yeah, I really need to talk to someone about it. And again, I just got taxed on a bunch of money that I got to file this year. And I'm glad I didn't do my taxes as of yet,
Okay.
because I need to do some of these special tax sheltered options that are available for me with my companies. So yeah, I definitely booked a call, but I just want to tell you thank you so much, because I'm actively working on this like right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it's important that people know this. Um, this is not a set it and forget it plan. Like some of you are on here like, oh, I already got this in place, I already got that in place. Saying that is like look at your cell phone, right? Imagine having a Nokia cell phone with the game Snake on there.
Yeah.
If you update your cell phone every few years, whatever the case may be, why are you not updating your financial plan? The
Yes.
products change, the economy changes, the law changes. And so even if
Yes.
you already have something set up, this is
Yes.
not the infomercial, set it and forget it. You need to be updating it,
Like your
review.
beneficiaries too. Like people don't know. I've seen people pass, and the people they have down, they don't have a contingent. Trust me, it's a lot. I just
Listen,
went through a lot. You
I
heard me say late husband, and I'm not very old, so I just went
had,
through a lot. So I know what it's like going through with the in-laws and all that. But just FYI, to be very transparent, I've been in the financial arena. I know everybody's probably heard of Primerica, working with IRAs, mutual funds, all of those things for over 20 years, and personalized and commercial. So I'm not a novice to the insurance arena, but I need to make sure I have my stuff together. And I always do a review every year, first quarter of the year.
okay, awesome. Well, I'm so excited. Make sure you book your team before
Yep,
they
I booked my call. I did. I'll see them. I'll talk to them Wednesday. Thank you so much.
so welcome. Congratulations to everybody who booked the call. That's wonderful. Michael, I think we're all good.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for coming on here. Everybody put thank you in the chat. I see Shonda booked. Let's go. Malcolm booked. Let's go. Trinell booked. All right, y'all. Make sure you're going in there and booking your call. Everybody put thank you in the chat. Let her know how amazing she is. Listen, Saida is also on Instagram, so give her a follow. She has classes all the time. She has an amazing community. Make sure you tap in with what she's doing. So anyway, thank you for spending your Saturday with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right,
Bye.
awesome. All right, y'all. Well, that was the very last speaker. How was that? Everybody enjoy that session, these sessions, y'all? Neo over delivered again. Neo over delivered again. I really feel like today alone was probably one of the most powerful sessions. You know, we've had a lot of sessions. Can you guys believe this was the 7th day for some of us being together? 7 days. Who's been here to all 7 sessions? I want to know. Well, not counting the mindset calls. I should say, who's all been to all 7 days? Tanya, Shanla has. A lot of you all. I see a lot of hands being raised. Sheesh. We spent a lot of time together. So this is what I want to do, a few reminders for you all that the replays are going to be taken down tomorrow night at midnight, unless there's some kind of extension. I haven't been told anything yet. So make sure you're watching the replays today, tomorrow. You have all this weekend to watch those replays, okay? So go back, be taking screenshots, go back, be making sure you're taking lots of notes, all right? So the community is going to stay up. Okay. So I want to let you guys know the WAP group is going to stay up so you can use that to converse, share stuff with each other, make sure you're building connections in there. But I do want to let you guys know that tomorrow night at midnight, the opportunity to join the AI and Marketing Accelerator is also closing. All right. So if you've been working with the team to try to find a way to get in, you're like, man, I want to learn more about this AI. I want to learn more Instagram marketing, more speaking. You have until tomorrow at midnight. It's mastermindwithneo.com. If you're still working on that, you're like, yo, I'm still working with the team. By tomorrow night, I'm going to try to make something happen. Just let me know in the chat. The WAP will stay up for a while. I think it's going to stay up ongoing. But everything's in the WAP community. So Shanla says, contact me. Hey, Shanla, team, can you just reach out to Shanla and help her make sure? She says she wants to bless Neo, which would be amazing. So we'll make sure that Mark or Rodell or somebody who's on the team, make sure we reach out to Shanla via the email and phone there. But okay, Nico's still working on it. Kesh is still working on it. Awesome. Well, just a reminder, we also have our team here. So if you need help getting into the AI and marketing accelerator and you really want to join, talk with the team. We may even go ahead and have you some funding options available, right? So talk with the team. Just comment the word help if you haven't talked to a team member yet and you want to get in. If you're like, yo, I really want to talk with somebody to see if there's any like third-party funding, buy now, pay later, payment plans, like talk with the team. We can maybe, I can't guarantee anything. They're going to have to look at your unique situation, but the team can call you today to see if we can get you in. Okay. So Deja, I see Kesh, we'll have the team reach out to you. So just comment the word help if you want assistance and you want somebody to call you and help try to get you into this program. Because listen, we start this month. You can attend Marcus's speaker training March 26th and 27th. I think in a week or two, we have Alicia's in-person event you can attend. Like there's going to be tons of Zoom meetings and Zoom coaching sessions, but we have like 3 to 4 in-person events happening over the next 30 to 60 days that you all can jump in on and attend when you join the AI and Marketing Accelerator. So I officially want to thank you all for being here in the room. I want to say congratulations to everybody ahead of time that's working on getting in and is going to get in. We're going to go ahead. Shanla, prayer line link. I put that inside the WAP community yesterday, so just scroll up in there and you'll find it. Versita, Tia needs help. Okay, Izzy and the team, can you make sure you're reaching out to all these? So Tia, Versita, we'll have Izzy reach out to you or one of the other team members, okay? So this is the official last day. Go ahead and I'll just say this. Take this information and run with it. Take this information and run with it, y'all. Like you've been given gold. You guys realize that, right? You guys have been given like I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like you've been given your future. Let me just say that. Like literally, it's all in your hands now. You just have to run. You just have to run with it. You just have to decide that I'm not delaying. Today is the day. This year is the year. And you actually decide to take action with this information. One thing I know, only a small percentage of people, we have about 100 watching. There's some on YouTube. I know only a small percentage of people are actually going to take this action and run with it. I hope you fall into that small percentage. I hope you're one of those people that go run the plays. Do it without, making excuses. So with that being said, we just want to, again, appreciate you guys for locking in with us for over the course of the past 7 days. Be tapped in with Neo on Instagram. You never know what event this dude's going to roll out. You never know what freebies he's going to be giving out or anything like that. So make sure you're tapped in with Neo Deviso on Instagram. And again, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here in the 7-Figure Digital Bootcamp. We'll see you all very, very soon, y'all. Have a great Saturday, and let's go win the year. Peace.